Now on YouTube, it's time for some alternative commentary action with the Commentary Hub.
There's headed by Moreno, and it's 2-1 to Arsenal.
Look at that point! Goal for Manchester City!
Zaka takes this corner, whips it in, it's headed and it's a goal, and it's that man, Gabriel.
Liverpool have equalised. Lovely improvisational touch from Curtis Jones.
Oh, what a goal! Wow, take it out! Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending where you are across the world, and welcome to alternative coverage of the FA Cup final, the 2024-2025 FA Cup season is coming to a close today. It's the FA Cup final. Kick-off is at 4:30 UK time, British Summer Time at Wembley Stadium. It is Crystal Palace against Manchester City this afternoon. I'm your match presenter, Russ Vernon, and alongside me is your big match commentator. He's not done. I don't think he's done an FA Cup final yet. For us on the channel, well, a very good afternoon to give us the team changes, any team changes for either side, and we'll see the full lineups very shortly. But any team changes for this afternoon from either Oliver Glasner or Pep Guardiola, Paul James?
Thank you, Ross. Good afternoon, everybody. In answer to that question, Ross, it is my second. I did last year's FA Cup final as well. Looking at Crystal Palace, who are looking to win their first FA Cup in their history, make no changes from the semi-final. They rely on the team that beat Aston Villa by 3-0. For Manchester City, following on from their 2-0 victory over Nottingham Forest in their semi-final, make 4 changes. Manuel Akanji, Kevin De Bruyne, Jeremy Doku and Erling Haaland all come back for Matheus Nunes, Rico Lewis, Mateo Kovacic and Jack Grealish. And those are your changes today.
Thank you very much there to Paul James, the man who is on commentary duty for this afternoon's game. And we're getting ready for kick-off, very much fast approaching then. But before we continue anything else right now, we're going to get ready to listen to the great Abide With Me this afternoon here on the channel. So we're just going to get Abide With Me, getting you that played right now. So if you just stand by, and we'll get the Abide With Me played for you this afternoon. Brilliantly sung there by the brilliant singer that we have just heard from, which is Sinead Ashiokai. Brilliant there. That's the Abide With Me as we get ready now for the big FA Cup final this afternoon. And what a big game it is. Brilliant the sun there that abide with me, and that's what we like to see this afternoon, and we're getting ready for the FA Cup final. The teams are getting ready to come into the tunnel ahead of kick-off in what is going to be a very, very, very big game this afternoon for both sides. Can Crystal Palace win the FA Cup, or will Man City pick up their only trophy of this season? A man to ask that question to, his opinion is our very own Paul James. And Paul, do you think Man City will win this afternoon, or do you think Crystal Palace will pick up the FA Cup today?
Well, Manchester City have gone for a very, very attack-heavy. City should win this game quite comfortably, but we all know the FA Cup is not won on paper, and it's a wonderful opportunity for Crystal Palace today. This is their third appearance in the final, interestingly enough all against Manchester teams, and it's going to be a Herculean task for Crystal Palace, but I think in the end Manchester City will probably run out winners, but it would be nice to see Crystal Palace today get an upset, I have to admit, but looking at that lineup, Pep Guardiola is not going to want to end this. He's not going to want to end this season without winning a trophy.
Absolutely not, Paul. Absolutely not, my friend. And it's going to be a big. And from when I saw the lineups came out just a few moments ago, guys, I was thinking, wow, that is one of the strongest lineups any side can pick in this final, with this for both sides, both strong lineups this afternoon as the teams get ready to come out of the tunnel any second now. One question in the second to me is a question which I would like to ask to Paul as well, and I may try and bring in one of our producers from behind the scenes as well to give his opinion on what the score is going to be. But first of all, your match commentator Paul James, big game for this one. Your score prediction for this one today?
Well, I'm gonna say 3-0 to Manchester City. I just think they've got too strong a lineup, and even if you go to the bench, there's just talent everywhere you look on this Manchester City lineup. So I do think City will win this game comfortably.
Yes, and the man who I'm going to ask as well now is our very own Nicholas Jones. Nicholas, good afternoon to you, my friend. Just a quick question to you. Who do you reckon is going to come out on top in this game? Will it be Crystal Palace, or would you think it's going to be Manchester City to come out on top, Nicholas?
Good afternoon to you, gentlemen. While most people would say Manchester City, given the reputation that they've had over the past few seasons, but their season, as we know, hasn't been so great. So you know what? I'm actually going to plunge my hand. I'm actually going to put my foot in it and say Crystal Palace, because why not? It's variety.
Absolutely, Nicholas. Absolutely, my friend. And thank you very much there, Nicholas, for your input this afternoon as well there. We'll try and get Nicholas's bits of thoughts throughout the game as well. But first of all, let me just, before we hand over to match commentator Paul James, in a second or two after we've heard the national anthem for Orba, God Save the King, in just a few moments in time as Prince William just shakes hands with the players from both teams, just going through the handshakes with Manchester City one right now. Very good afternoon to Media, Radio, Jingles and Gaming, and who says good afternoon. Well, is it just me, or did this 2024-25 season just fly by? I think it's flown by for me as well. It's already almost the end of the season in the Premier League, and that of course, and it's cup final day today. Well, the big question is, could Crystal Palace create a huge upset today and win this final as the underdogs? We'll find out very shortly in a moment or two's time as we get ready to hand over to your match commentator now, who will get ready to guide you through the action this afternoon in a moment or two's time. And then, man, to guide you through the action and give you the full team news is over to the man with the master plan. It's Paul James.
Thank you very much, Ross. Thank you, Nick. Certainly Crystal Palace have already made history today. The first Austrian manager to make an appearance in an FA Cup final. It's not the final that many of us may have wanted, but this is what we have as Prince William finishes shaking the hands of the Manchester City players. Certainly one of his more pleasant civic duties today. Okay, let's take a look at your starting lineups today for the 2025 FA Cup final, starting with Crystal Palace. And in goal for Crystal Palace today is Dean Henderson. Crystal Palace operating a 3-4-3. Let's take a look at the back three here as the lineups appear on your screen. The back three is Mark Gahey, the England international, Maxence Lacroix and Chris Richards, the American. The four in midfield, including wing-backs, are Tariq Mitchell, Daichi Kamada, Adam Wharton and Daniel Muniz. Adam Wharton signed from Blackburn and is an England international. Operating the two behind the front line is Ismail Assar and Eberichi Eze, with the front man being Jean-Philippe Mateta. Jean-Philippe Mateta, of course, one of the strongest players that Palace have had. There's been a big part in them getting to this cup final. Well, let's take a look at the Manchester City lineup, shall we? No surprising goal. Stefan Ortega starting as goalkeeper there, as he has done throughout the entire FA Cup period. City playing a 4-2-3-1 formation. The back four starting with the young man, 75, Nico O'Reilly, who's jumped onto the scene into the FA Cup. Josko Gvardiol, Ruben Diaz and Manuel Akanji operating on the right side. The two holding midfielders for Manchester City today are Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva. Really a new position for Bernardo Silva in that holding midfield role. And now the attacking giant of number 11, Jeremy Doku, Omar Mamouche in the number 10 role, and Savinho operating behind the very dangerous Erling Haaland, who is now back from injury. So the Manchester City lineups as such. Let's take a look at the substitutes for both sides, and it's almost a compelling substitute bench, really, when you compare the two. For Crystal Palace, Ben Chilwell, Nathaniel Klein, Justin Devaney, Roman Esse, Will Hughes, Jefferson Lerman, Eddie Nketiah, the backup goalkeeper Matt Turner, and Joel Ward. For Manchester City, they have Claudio Echeverri, the backup goalkeeper Ederson, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Ilkay Gundogan, Abdulkadir Kasanov, Nico Gonzalez, Mateus Nunes and Vitor Reis make up a very talented substitute bench for the citizens. Our referee today is Mr. Stuart Atwell from Nuneaton in Warwickshire, with the assistants being Adam Nunn and Dan Robertson. Darren England is our fourth official today, and our VAR team in Stockley Park consists of Jared Gillett, Darren Kahn and Michael Salisbury. As the two captains gathered together at the centre circle just for the coin toss. Kevin De Bruyne, and for Crystal Palace, their captain is Mark Gahey today. So right now that will determine who is getting kick off and which side of the field that they will attack. These two teams have met each other 36 times in all competitions, and it is a lot tighter than you might think. Crystal Palace have won 12, they've drawn 13, and there has been 11 victories for Manchester City, showing more recent form, though, 3 Manchester City victories and 2 draws, so no wins in 5 for the Eagles against Manchester City. Eberichi Eze just preparing. Final preparations for him. For the City side, they're just doing a team huddle for their final preparations. A huge game for them. The FA Cup final of 2025 is about to get underway very, very shortly here as the teams gather at the centre circle. Manchester City wearing their sky blue jerseys, white shorts and sky blue socks. And of course, Crystal Palace in their red and blue stripes, blue shorts and blue socks, as they are about to get the game underway, I think. As the noise surrounding Wembley Stadium, the colour, the calligraphy around this ground on FA Cup final day is just absolutely mesmerising. Stuart Atwell now just getting the players together, and we are about to get this game underway here in just a moment. It is Crystal Palace to kick us off, and it's Eberici Eze, I think, has just gone to the centre circle to get the game underway, and we're just waiting for Mr. Stuart Atwell to blow his whistle to get the 2025 FA Cup final underway. And we're still waiting for him to blow his whistle. I'm not sure what the delay is. Again, we should be underway very, very shortly here. And we are still waiting. Finally, Stuart Atwell blows his whistle and we're underway. And it goes all the way back to Dean Henderson, and the 2025 FA Cup final has begun between Crystal Palace and Manchester City. The ball is headed forward. It's cleared away by Josko Gvardiol, only as far as Adam Wharton. But it's picked up by Omar Mamouche, and Stuart Atwell has blown his whistle. We're going to get a free kick here. Well, we have a player down. It's Josko Gvardiol who's down with a head injury just inside his own 18-yard box. He's clashing here with Jean-Philippe Mateta. There didn't appear to be too much contact. Not sure exactly what happened there. Maybe he just caught Josko Gvardiol. And the free kick is going to be taken by the goalkeeper, Stefan Ortega, the German international. Played throughout the FA Cup and is fully trusted with the position today. Here's Nico O'Reilly down the left side. The ball is played forward looking for Omar Mamouche. It goes in between Omar Mamouche and Erling Haaland and finally cleared away and downfield. But it's picked up here now by Mamouche again. He's brought down, and that's going to be a free kick for a foul by Mark Gahey. And the foul on Omar Mamouche is midway inside the Crystal Palace half of the field. And Manchester City, well, this is their last chance to win something this season. It's been a very strange season for Manchester City. Here's Ruben Diaz. Gives the ball to Gvardiol, back to Diaz. Diaz plays the ball out wide to Nico O'Reilly. O'Reilly to Doku. Doku drops the ball back to Gvardiol. Patient build-up by Manchester City now. And the ball is across there to Savinho. Savinho holds the ball up, back to Gvardiol. Gvardiol out wide here to Jeremy Doku. Good play by Doku, beats two. Gives the ball back to Gvardiol again, and it's Ruben Diaz. Diaz. Palace have a wall-like defence. The ball is played out wide to Savinho. Savinho has Tariq Mitchell in front of him. He drops the ball back and picked up here. And it's now with Diaz again. And once again Diaz. And Manuel Akanji is up there as well for Manchester City. It's Diaz one more time, as right now it's just Akanji, Diaz and Gvardiol just passing the ball about, keeping possession and trying to find a way through this Palace backline. Here's Savinho. Drop back into the centre circle, just away from Gvardiol this time. Gvardiol over the halfway line, drops the ball out to Nico O'Reilly. O'Reilly turns away there from the number 7 for Crystal Palace. And it's out wide now, picked up by Savinho. Savinho is challenged by Mitchell, and it's one back there and out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in as Daichi Kamada puts the ball out of play. The throw-in is taken quickly, and it's back with Ruben Diaz, as once again City building up. Number 24 there, Josko Gvardiol, City. This is a style that we've become used to with Manchester City, just knocking the ball around, perhaps trying to frustrate the opposition. Here's O'Reilly. Here's Doku. Back to Gvardiol. Just pressing Palace back a little bit here. Here's Akanji. Good ball out wide to Savinio. Savinio tries to break away there, but just coming back and picking up that ball is Mark Gahey. He clears the ball away, but only as far as Bernardo Silva. Picked up by Ruben Diaz and gives the ball to Kevin De Bruyne. We can expect to see much of this in this game of Manchester City just keeping possession of the ball. Jeremy Doku now down the left-hand side. Doku drops the ball back to Gvardiol and again to De Bruyne. Oh, that's a wonderful interception by Eberechi Eze, and he's fouled there. It's going to be a free kick. And finally, Palace win the ball back as the late challenge by Manuel Akanji there just brings down Eberechi Eze. The free kick is taken quickly, and it's with Chris Richards, the American. He drops the ball back to his goalkeeper, Dean Henderson. Former Manchester United and Nottingham Forest loanee. The ball is cleared out. Ball only goes as far as Manuel Akanji, and he just allows that ball to roll out of play. So it's going to be a throw-in to Manchester City as the Palace fans, intent on enjoying themselves today, making a lot of noise behind that goal to our left-hand side, the side that Manchester City are attacking. They're making a lot of noise there. They've got a lot of banners, and it all looks really fantastic, to be honest. Here is Diaz. Plays the ball to Manuel Akanji. Back to Diaz again. That's a good ball to Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne holds the ball up. He's got Daichi Kamada in front of him. He tries to set off Savinio. Tyreek Mitchell tracking him. Back to De Bruyne. Swings the ball in. Transfer Erling Haaland, and that's a fine save by Dean Henderson as the first shot in this FA Cup final comes from Kevin De Bruyne. He stretched out quite brilliantly to reach that and forced a really good save out of Dean Henderson. It's going to be a corner to Manchester City, but City coming close as firing the first warning shot over the bow of Crystal Palace, and the corner is going to be taken on the left-hand side. And well, of course, needless to say, De Bruyne is to take it, but Erling Haaland is in there. Mamouche is in there as well. Also Nico O'Reilly looking to get on the end of this. The cross comes in. It's headed out to the edge of the area as far as Mamouche. Savinio tries to flick the ball in, but it's blocked by Tyreek Mitchell. He tracks Savinio again, but he drops the ball back to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva to Ruben Diaz. Inside the centre circle is Ruben Diaz. And he gives a good ball there to the number 24, Josko Gvardiol. It's O'Reilly again. He swings the ball in, and it's taken behind for a corner by Dean Henderson. It was deep towards the back post, and rather than leaving it, maybe he didn't get a shout. He ended up carrying that ball behind the line for a corner ball. You can see there he tries to fall on it, but you can see quite clearly it's out of play. And a corner to Manchester City, this time on the right-hand side, and it's Savinio that's going to take it. He's got De Bruyne there, short one if he needs it. Akanji, Haaland, Gvardiol, O'Reilly in there. It's headed up into the air by Daichi Kamada. It goes back to Savinio, and here's the crossing by Omar Mamouche. It's blocked, and now Eberechi Eze can perhaps clear it away. No, he's been dispossessed by Kevin De Bruyne, who whips that cross in, but it's cleared out of play by Mark Gahey, and it's going to be a throw-in for Manchester City, level with the penalty area of Crystal Palace. And here is Bernardo Silva. It's played across there to Ruben Diaz. Long way out. He thought about a shot for a second and then thought twice about it. Manuel Akanji takes the ball back into the centre circle. Out and across to Josko Gvardiol. He was looking for Doku there, but it's headed out well there by Chris Richards. And the ball is played forward now. And Crystal Palace coming forward with Jean-Philippe Mateta. But winning the ball comfortably there is Manuel Akanji, and he gets it back to Stefan Ortega, who releases the ball to Gvardiol. Gvardiol drops the ball back to Bernardo Silva. across to Kevin De Bruyne. We got bright sunshine here at Wembley in this evening's kickoff. Just some shade stepping in as we go into the early evening in London this afternoon. And wherever you're listening to this game, we hope you're enjoying it. And thank you for joining us for the 2025 FA Cup final. And it's Gvardiol drops the ball across there to Ruben Diaz. Diaz sends the ball out wide to Savinho, right hand side. Savinho drops the ball back there to Akanji. And Akanji back to Diaz. Diaz to Gvardiol, and here's Nico O'Reilly. O'Reilly, incredibly quick player, has made a bit of a name for himself in this FA Cup competition, turned the game around in the game against Bournemouth in the quarter-finals. And the ball is out wide now to Savinho. Back to Manuel Akanji again, plays the ball forward to Haaland. Haaland is dispossessed that time by Wharton. And now breaking forward to Crystal Palace. And that is a foul on Ismaila Sarr, surely. The referee says no. And here's Nico O'Reilly now for Manchester City. O'Reilly to Bernardo Silva. That's a really good ball. Jeremy Doku. Doku, corner of the penalty area, right-hand side. Good challenge by Daichi Kamada. Just drops the ball, though, to Nico O'Reilly. O'Reilly drops the ball back. O'Reilly again. Back to Gvardiol. That's a good ball across there to Akanji as City continue to camp out inside the Crystal Palace half of the field. And that's a good challenge by Tyreek Mitchell on Savinho, and the ball is behind for a corner for Manchester City, their third corner, and we've only played 10 minutes here, and it's 0-0. Well, it's been a pulsating start really for Manchester City. Barely Crystal Palace has gotten into Manchester City's half of the field so far. They're absorbing the early pressure. We kind of expected this. Savinho going to take the corner now, looking for perhaps O'Reilly, Haaland. The ball comes in, Gvardiol's up there. It's Gvardiol with a header! And it's a good save once again by Dean Henderson. That's the second time he's been called upon, getting to his left-hand side to make the save there. And it's cleared away. You get the feeling that he is going to be a busy man today. Gvardiol's header there, forcing the save from Dean Henderson. And it's picked up now by Ruben Diaz. As once again, City just piling this never-ending pressure. It's relentless at the moment from the citizens. And here's Manuel Akanji out wide to Kevin De Bruyne. Akanji gets the ball back. And out wide to Nico O'Reilly to Doku. Doku, Gvardiol. That's a good ball by Diaz. Out wide there to Savinho on the right-hand side. He's coming up against Tyreek Mitchell again. Savinho tries to get the cross in. Once again, that may have come off for Savinho, I think, slipped. And that's going to go behind for a goal kick. As you can see, if you're just joining us, the lineups are there on the screen in front of you. If you're just joining us, welcome along. And thank you for spending your valuable time with us this afternoon for the 2025 FA Cup final at Wembley Stadium. As the goal kick is taken short here, and it's cleared downfield. And it's headed down now onto Kevin De Bruyne. And here's Omar Mamouche as City storm forward once again. Savinho now cuts inside, gets a cross into the area. Chris Richards gets a flick on, but only as far as Jeremy Doku by the corner flag on the left-hand side. Doku just going to check back here and give the ball to Bernardo Silva. Crosses the ball in. Oh, and there was a chance for Savinho. And Tyreek Mitchell, I think, got the last touch to put him off. We'll take a look at that again. It's going to be a fourth corner for Manchester City. Yes, the ball came in. There was a chance for Savinho. If he had got on the end of that, we could be looking at a different story. But Tyreek Mitchell heads the ball out of play. He was being worked very hard in the first 13 minutes or so of this game. The corner is coming in now from Savinho again. It's headed on again, just over the crossbar. And this time from Manuel Akanji. And it just clears the crossbar. I think Dean Henderson may have had that covered at any rate, but it had him scrambling. And it's a goal kick for Crystal Palace as Oliver Glasner just trying to frantically organise things. And Pep Guardiola, he has to be satisfied with the start, albeit they haven't taken the chances that they've had yet. But I think that's largely due to a couple of good saves by Dean Henderson. That clearance away by Chris Richards is a poor one. Only finds Nico O'Reilly, and it's just handed the ball back to Manchester City. Here is Bernardo Silva. Silva holds the ball up, gives the ball there to Gvardiol. Gvardiol, really good ball across to Manuel Akanji and out to Savinho. And it's back to Kevin De Bruyne as Manchester City at the moment just looking for holes, patient build-up, looking for ways through this Crystal Palace defence, and so far they've found a few. Here's Gvardiol. O'Reilly. Doku. Back to O'Reilly. Cross to Gvardiol. And now here's Diaz. There's the ball out wide. It's a good one to Savinho. Savinho tries a deep cross into the middle, and Dean Henderson just lets that go wide. There's a little bit too much on that cross there into the middle, but it gives some respite to Crystal Palace now, and maybe try to afford some attack from their own perspective. With 15 minutes gone, they've barely been inside the Manchester City half of the field, and they've been under the cosh a lot in this game early on. And the ball is played to Guéhi, cross to Richards. Richards clears the ball forward. Oh, that's picked up by Jean-Philippe Mateta. Good play. Jean-Philippe Mateta gets the ball back. It's out wide to Daniel Munez. This is the first chance he's had to run. Daniel Munez swings the ball in, and it's a goal by Eberechi Eze! How about that? What a shock! Eberechi Eze on Crystal Palace's first attack in this game gets the goal on 16 minutes. And Eberechi Eze, oh my word, what a finish on the volley as well. And right out of nowhere, Crystal Palace take the 1-goal lead in this FA Cup final. Oh, that's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. And what do you say to that? That is a smash and grab if I've ever seen one. It was a really good build-up. It was a first chance at Daniel Munez, who has 6 goals and 6 assists this season. Gets the ball out wide from Jean-Philippe Mateta, and he forces a really good cross right onto the boot of Eberechi Eze on the volley. Beats Stefan Ortega to his right-hand side, and Crystal Palace have the 1-goal lead at Wembley Stadium, and they strike first in this 2025 FA Cup final. And Oliver Glasner looks delighted, if not probably a little bit shocked himself. And those Crystal Palace fans are in raptures, but it is still early days yet. But that is a warning to Manchester City not to take their foot off the gas. And here's Manuel Akanji now as the game is back underway. Crystal Palace 1, Manchester City 0. It's Eberechi Eze with a scorer. And now the ball is out wide to Jeremy Doku. Doku coming back. That's a good challenge by Chris Richards. Just got across well there, sliding the challenge and putting the ball out of play for a throw into City. Here's Josko Gvardiol. We've got comments in the comment section. I'm going to read it out in a minute. We've just got an attack here from City. Here is Akanji. Back to Savinho. I think I can probably read that out now. Chris Unwin. What a start for Crystal Palace, and Eberechi Eze. Well, indeed. After being under the cosh for so long, they strike first. The ball is played forward now, looking for Omar Mamouche. Mamouche plays the ball back to Jeremy Doku from inside the penalty area. And Doku drops the ball back to Gvardiol. Here's Nico O'Reilly. Squared to Mamouche. Mamouche's shot is blocked. And that is a really good block by Lacroix. The ball is cleared into the Manchester City half. And here's Diaz. Akanji, back to Diaz. And Akanji again. Here's Silva. Silva just over the halfway line now. Gvardiol. City once again building up. Josko Gvardiol. Well, my 3-0 prediction's gone out the window, Russ. The ball is played forward, and it was looking for Adam Wharton. Adam Wharton just about, well, he only just kept possession. And now here is Ismail Assar. Good ball to Daniel Munez. Picked up again by Adam Wharton. Adam Wharton across onto the far side, and it's Tyreek Mitchell. Gives the ball to Eberici Eze, the goal scorer. Eze plays the ball forward, and he gets it back from a poor clearance from O'Reilly. It's now out wide to Munez again. Munez swings the ball in. Oh, it's a shot there, and a good save. This time it's Ismail Assar who gets the shot on Stefan Ortega. It's a reaction save in the end, one perhaps a German might have expected to make. But Palace, another warning to Manchester City. De Bruyne plays the ball forward. Savino goes down under the challenge of Tyreek Mitchell. Mr. Stuart Atwell says no free kick, and it's going to be a goal kick as we take a look at this chance again, as once again Daniel Munez, right in the heart of this, drills that ball across. A quick flick by Ismail Assar, and a decent reaction save from close range by Stefan Ortega. Crystal Palace, well, they seem to be, they caught Manchester City cold on a couple of occasions there. And with 20 minutes gone, it is Crystal Palace 1 and Manchester City 0. The goal on 16 minutes by Eberici Eze. And it's headed on there by Gehi. Ball is cleared away and into the Manchester City half. And Josko Gvardiol just gets there ahead of it. Ismail Assar goes straight back to the goalkeeper, Stefan Ortega. And here's Savinio. Savinio again drops the ball to Ruben Diaz inside the centre circle now. Ruben Diaz, he's got options left and right. And it's out wide to Akanji down the right hand side. And Akanji again. And this is really good play by Manchester City now as they aim to try to get back into this game. There's Josko Gvardiol. He's midway inside the Palace half of the field. Just puts his foot on the ball and plays it across there to Ruben Diaz. Russ has just tagged on a stat that I'm going to read out to you now, actually. 24 goal involvements for Eberici Eze this season. 13 goals and 11 assists. That is an impressive stat, as Crystal Palace are having the season of their lives right now. Here is Eberici Eze, Jeremy Doku, across to Gvardiol, to De Bruyne. Back to Gvardiol again. Here's Diaz. Out wide to Savinio as Crystal Palace looking to block out this attack from Manchester City. Savinio again. Got Tyreek Mitchell in front of him. Oh, that's a good interception by Eze. And Eze just shielding the ball. And if he, Omar Mamouche nipped in to try to win that one. And he goes down. And once again, no free kick, says the referee. We've got a comment in the comment section. It's from Media Radio Jingles and Gaming. Loving the new graphics and what a perfect goal start for Crystal Palace. Shot could be on the way. And that is true. We're really glad you're enjoying the new graphics. We wanted to kind of get it looking more professional, make it easier for people to follow. And that seems to be working so far. Here's Munez again. Plays the ball forward. He finds Eberici Eze over on the far side. Eze holds the ball up. And it's good play. Drops the ball back here to Ismail Assar. Eze. Gehi. Lacroix. Lifts the ball up across to Ismail Assar again, but that's a poor pass. Picked up by Manuel Akanji. And now Manchester City can come forward. It's a long ball forward, and chasing it is Erling Haaland. Dean Henderson's out, and he's made a bit of a Horlicks of it, and it's come back now. It's fortunately just away from goal. It's now with Omar Mamouche again. The pass received from Erling Haaland, and to be honest with you, well, Dean Henderson came out hoping to grab it, and it didn't quite make it. And the ball is now long into the Manchester City half of the field. Trying to deal with this is Ruben Diaz, and he's forced to knock the ball out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in to Manchester City. It's going to be a throw-in to Manchester City, I think. Yes. As we take a look at this again, it's Erling Haaland chasing this one through. Dean Henderson he just manages to get a hand on it, which is actually just enough to force it away from Erling Haaland. And that have been the saving grace that perhaps Henderson was looking for. Nicholas says, if Palace win, you owe me a couple of drinks as I predicted them. Russ says, I'll get you a drink, no problem, Nick. Okay. Social arrangements being made on the commentary hub. Alright, so we've got another comment in the comment section. Media, radio, jingles and gaming says it really does look professional. The new scoreboard really looks well suited for TV coverage, and we've just got a delay right now as the referee is just grabbing a drink of water. There's a stoppage. I'm not quite sure what stoppage in play for, if it's just for that. And if we look again at Dean Henderson, it's actually smart thinking by Dean Henderson, just getting his paw across and getting that ball away from Erling Haaland, and the referee is still stopped playing. I'm not sure exactly. It looks like he's talking to VAR about something. I think they're discussing whether Henderson handled the ball outside the box and whether there'll be a potential red card here. Right now they're still talking, and I think, yes, the referee's going to blow the whistle and the game is going to continue. Well, if you're watching the game, that's close. It's very hard to tell from that angle, but it's close. If you're watching the game, let us know if you think that is outside the box or not. And here's Ruben Diaz. Diaz gives the ball to Josko Gvardiol. Gvardiol out wide to Doku. Doku checks inside there of Ismail Assar. Good ball forward to Mamouche. Mamouche tries to lay it off for Erling Haaland. Good challenge there by Lacroix. And now Palace trying to move forward. And the ball is to Doku. Doku now. Oh, is he caught by Chris Richards there? Well, the referee says no. And I have to admit, Jeremy Doku looks like he was caught there by Chris Richards. Let's look at this again. Well, he cut across him, but I don't think he really made much contact with him. I think Doku was looking for it. So well spotted by the referee, Mr. Stuart Atwell, who I think has been given this as his first FA Cup final. And it's back with Dean Henderson. Henderson clears the ball downfield. And the header is won there. And knocked on again by Lacroix. Just looking for Ismail Assar there, but across to meet that is Manuel Akanji. Akanji just holding off Tariq Mitchell, and the ball is knocked out of play by Manuel Akanji as Manchester City are struggling a little bit when Crystal Palace are being a little bit more physical. And when I say physical, I don't mean dirty, I mean just general physical play, and Manchester City appear to be struggling with that. It's a throw-in for Crystal Palace, level with the Manchester City penalty area, and it's Chris Richards to take it. And he may go for a long one here. It's right in front of those Manchester City fans who are at the moment not looking too pleased. It's a long throw-in, headed up into the air, and it's just outside the 6-yard box. Nico O'Reilly gets a header away, and again hooked away, this time by Erling Haaland. But the header on by Chris Richards only finds Manuel Akanji as he tried to set off Savino on his way, but that was a good challenge there, and the ball goes out of play by Chris Richards. So it's going to be a throw-in for Manchester City as we've played almost 28 minutes here. It's Crystal Palace 1, Manchester City 0. As so far Manchester City haven't really been able to provide anything in response. Here is Diaz to Savino, back to Akanji, and here's Diaz again, across to Gvardiol. Gvardiol, and it's Jeremy Doku. Doku plays the ball across there, only manages to find Manuel Akanji, and here is Kevin De Bruyne. Diaz, as Palace just pushing City back a little bit towards the halfway line. And here's Ruben Diaz again. Here's Bernardo Silva. Good ball to Akanji again. Savinio. Got some space in front of him, Savinio. Been an interesting battle between him and Tyreek Mitchell. Savinio tries to get to the touchline, but it's ran out of play as once again Tyreek Mitchell wins that battle between those two players. And it's going to be a goal kick as we take a look at the goal again by Eberechi Eze. Just catching that side-footed on the volley. And it goes, well, Ortega wasn't there, was he? Some may question the goalkeeping of Stefan Ortega. I choose not to. I think it was a first-time shot. Sometimes it's very difficult for goalkeepers to get into the position on a one-time effort like that. Dean Henderson clears the ball downfield now, and it's just headed back to the goalkeeper by Josko Gvardiol, and it's released quickly to Bernardo Silva. And the ball is across to Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne now, Manchester City almost at walking pace at this point now. There's Diaz to Nico O'Reilly. O'Reilly switches the ball back there to Gvardiol. Midway inside the Crystal Palace half of the field, it's Diaz again, out to the right-hand side to De Bruyne. And that's a good pass there by Akanji. Gvardiol is about 30 yards from goal. Swings the ball in, does Gvardiol. It's headed up into the air there by Gehi. Not cleared far enough though, as Gvardiol keeps possession. Gives it to O'Reilly. Almost slips there, Gvardiol. Here's Jeremy Doku now. Doku skipping inside, or trying to. O'Reilly getting inside. And Crystal Palace struggling to get the ball away. And finally it rolls through to the goalkeeper. But just for a moment there, Crystal Palace really struggled to get that ball away. Finally it rolls through to the goalkeeper. Medium radio jiggles again, and I'm watching this on TV with the commentary muted so I can listen to you. Thought it was only really slightly in the box. If you were watching quite, it would probably look as if it was out of the box. So for me, I think that, yeah, I mean, I agree with you there actually. It's probably inside the box. I mean, VAR will have looked at it as a possible red card, but no free kick was given. So I'm not even sure that that was the correct procedure by VAR. The ball is cleared forward. Only as far as Bernardo Silva from Dean Henderson. Not the best clearance. Here's Manuel Akanji. Holds the ball up and gives the ball to Bernardo Silva. Good work by Bernardo Silva. And now here is Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne holds the ball up. Midway inside the Crystal Palace half of the field. He plays the ball out wide to the right-hand side to Manuel Akanji. He's got Savinio alongside him. He checks back inside. Gives the ball back to De Bruyne. And here's Ruben Diaz. Diaz to Josko Gvardiol. And it's now with Doku. Doku on the left-hand side. Pulls the ball back to Gvardiol. And the ball is across there to Diaz. Diaz lifts the ball in looking for Haaland. And he jumps up with Chris Richards. Neither of them winning the header cleanly. It was cleared away by Lacroix. Only as far as Kevin De Bruyne, and De Bruyne is fouled, and it is going to be a free kick. And the free kick is just outside the centre circle in the Crystal Palace half of the field. The ball is with Savinio. Savinio drops the ball back to Diaz. Once again, City camping inside the Palace half of the field. And now here's Bernardo Silva, gets to the byline. Oh, he goes down! And they're screaming for a penalty at Crystal Palace. At Manchester City, and I think the referee has given it. It's a penalty to Manchester City. We're going to take another look at it here. It's Bernardo Silva, it's Tyreek Mitchell's challenge, and that is a penalty. There is no question. Or does he get the ball first? So on that angle, it looks like he might have got the ball first. But it's a penalty to Manchester City. I just wonder whether Tyreek Mitchell may have got the ball first. I'm sure VAR are going to look at it, but it looked to me like Tyreek Mitchell just might have poked that ball first. But we'll take another look at it again in a moment, because I'm sure VAR are looking at it. And yeah, you can't always trust VAR. And we're just waiting for absolute confirmation it's being checked out by VAR. Haaland is about ready to take the penalty, but what a shame for Crystal Palace to concede in this way if Haaland is to score this. Let's have a look at the game. No, he doesn't touch the ball first. Actually, it's Bernardo Silva who gets the foot on there. That is a definite penalty. And we'll take a look at it again from this angle. Yeah, Bernardo Silva just gets a touch on, and Tariq Mitchell slides in with a challenge and catches Bernardo Silva. So there's no question for me that this is a penalty. And it's going to be taken, I think, by Erling Haaland. And standing over this one. Well, actually, no. Erling Haaland has released it and he's given it to Omar Mamouche. So Omar Mamouche is going to get the chance now to tie things up for Manchester City. Omar Mamouche steps up. And he'll just wait for the referee's whistle. He looks very focused. Crystal Palace fans behind that goal trying to put off Omar Mamouche and hoping that Dean Henderson can pull out a miracle here. Well, it's the FA Cup, that's what miracles are all about in this competition. But Omar Mamouche steps up now for Manchester City on this penalty kick. Omar Mamouche from 12 yards. And we're just waiting for Stuart Atwell to blow his whistle. Erling Haaland is telling him to get a move on. Finally, Mr. Atwell blows his whistle and Omar Mamouche steps up now. And a save by Dean Henderson! Oh, he's sad! He gets a hold of the rebound from Erling Haaland! It's saved by Dean Henderson! And he is mugged by the Crystal Palace player. Mobbed, I should say, by the Crystal Palace players. What a save by Dean Henderson from that penalty. It was stepped up by Omar Mamouche. Well, it was perhaps a good height for him, but he still had to get across and make the save. That was a very, very good save by Dean Henderson. And he gets down good and low for that. What a save. And Crystal Palace hold their lead. And a penalty miss for Manchester City. And this, Chris Unwin says he hopes Haaland misses. Well, it wasn't, they missed all right, but it wasn't Haaland. It was Omar Mamouche. And I do wonder whether Haaland handed the penalty to Mamouche. I wonder why he did that. But Omar Mamouche, the penalty is saved, and now Manchester City coming forward again. It's O'Reilly swings the ball in. It's headed up into the air by Lacroix. And Palace now looking to break away with Daniel Munez. He's away from Jeremy Doku, or at least he thought he was. It was a good challenge by Doku. He wins the ball back, but nipping in and winning that one is the number 7, Ismail Assar, but the ball goes out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in. And what excitement we've had in the first half of this game. Chris Unwin says Dean Henderson, he could be the hero for Crystal Palace. He certainly could be, Dean. He certainly could be, Chris, and this is an opportunity now. You just wonder whether the writing might be on the wall, but there's still so much time left in this game yet. Here's Ruben Diaz. He gets the ball out wide to the number 25, Manuel Akanji. It's cleared away, only as far as Ruben Diaz. 8 minutes to go till half time. The ball's played forward to Mamouche. Mamouche just drops it back to Diaz. And now it's with Josko Gvardiol and Jeremy Doku now for Manchester City. Doku plays the ball across to De Bruyne. De Bruyne just puts his foot on the ball midway inside the Palace half to Doku. Doku skips inside too. He gets a shot away, but it's blocked by Chris Richards. And he quickly releases it to Daniel Munez down the right-hand side. Munez to Adam Wharton. Oh, that's good work by Adam Wharton, skipping away there from Bernardo Silva. He drops the ball back to Chris Richards. Richards will have to clear it first time under the pressure. Oh, it's a wonderful ball forward from that clearance as well by Chris Richards, looking for Jean-Philippe Mateta. And it required Josko Gvardiol to get back and win that, as Chris Richards was under a lot of pressure playing that ball forward from Kevin De Bruyne. Here's Haaland. Drops the ball back to Savinho, to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva thought about the shot just for a second. Tries to get the ball out wide to Erling Haaland, and it's cleared away. only as far as Ruben Diaz. Manchester City now looking to come forward, looking for the goal to tie this one up. And it's Ruben Diaz again. Back again to Ruben Diaz, wearing the captain's armband today for Manchester City, I believe. Here is O'Reilly. O'Reilly to De Bruyne. Holds the ball up to Ruben Diaz. Across to Manuel Akanji. Gets the cross in, and it's Daniel Munez just allowing that to go behind for a goal kick. We've got another comment in the comment section. Media, radio, jingles and gaming says a shot could be incoming as we take a look at that penalty award again. No question. But what was in question was Omar Mamouche's penalty, forcing a fantastic save from Dean Henderson. And it was a good strike from Mamouche. It wasn't a bad penalty. It was just really a super save, as Erling Haaland at the end of that was trying to give him some words of encouragement as the Manchester City fans, head in hand, can't believe it. The Palace fans were rejoicing. Hardly surprising. The ball is played forward, and Nico O'Reilly now has it inside his own half. Nico O'Reilly, long ball forward. That's a good header by Tyreek Mitchell. And it's played over the halfway line there. Going down is Eberici Eze. No free kick, says the referee, and Manchester City win the ball back. We've got 5 minutes to go till the break here at Wembley Stadium. It's Crystal Palace 1, Manchester City 0. And there's O'Reilly, gives the ball down the left-hand side to Doku. Doku steps into the middle. Doku holds the ball up and he drops the ball out to Diaz. He goes out to the right-hand side to Savinho. First time cross by Savinho, looking for Haaland. Chris Richards wins the header. It's flicked out by Wharton and then cleared away by Ismail Assar. Chasing this one is Jean-Philippe Mateta. Does he have the strength to keep possession? And he lets it go there, and the ball is played forward by Assar again. He was looking for Mateta again, but it was good play by the Manchester City defence. And finally, Josko Gvardiol slams the ball into the Crystal Palace half of the field. Russ says Haaland handed it to Omar Mamouche as Haaland missed his last spot kick. Thanks for that, Russ. And, well, Oliver Glasner, not only the first Austrian manager in an FA Cup final, he could be the first Austrian manager to win it. Here is Bernardo Silva. The ball is played across here to Ruben Diaz. Diaz goes out wide to Savinho. Savinho drops the ball back to Manuel Akanji. Picks up the number 3, Diaz again. Gvardiol to O'Reilly. O'Reilly just holds possession at the moment. Here is the Josko Gvardiol. Gvardiol, that's a really good ball back to Ruben Diaz. Out onto the right-hand side is Akanji. Akanji. And it's dropped back there to Bernardo Silva. And out wide here to Jeremy Doku. Doku. That's a good ball. Gets into the penalty area. Doku. Doku with a shot! Oh, a super save! And headed out of play almost. It stays in play, in fact. And Kevin De Bruyne balloons a shot over the crossbar. But once again, Dean Henderson, the hero for Crystal Palace. Another super save, but what a great run by Doku. He strikes that shot. It's a good save, but it's right up into the air, still in the danger zone there for Crystal Palace. And Haaland and Mamouche were challenging for it. It was Gahey that got the header to put it out of danger. But another super save by Dean Henderson. This is 4 he's made in this first half alone. And the reason why Manchester City are on 0 and Crystal Palace is on 1 is that man right there in the picture if you're watching. Dean Henderson. And he's going to take the goal right-footed downfield. Up in the air is Ismail Assar. It breaks loose there for Gvardiol. He plays the ball forward looking for Omar Mamouche. Mamouche maintains possession well, but he's finally dispossessed from the challenge from Adam Wharton. The ball is played forward looking for Jean-Philippe Mateta. They're claiming offside. and I think the official's flag has gone up there on the near side. Nicholas, one of our producers, says, I'll say that was a great save by Henderson. Excuse me. He'll say that was a great save by Henderson when his back's up against the wall. He delivers the goods, and he delivered the goods indeed. It really was a fantastic save. Jean-Philippe Mateta is still down. Manchester City players are perhaps a little suspicious of that. He looks in some discomfort, does Jean-Philippe Mateta. Media, radio, jingles and gaming says another big moment for Henderson. Indeed it was. This opportunity that Dean Henderson has in this cup final is taking complete, grabbing it with both hands, if you will, as the Crystal Palace fans are still rejoicing behind that goal. They are thoroughly enjoying their trip to Wembley. And Manchester City fans, well, it's not quite so for them at the moment as we approach half-time. We'll give you the stoppage time just as soon as we know it. The ball is out wide to Manuel Akanji. Akanji tries to get the cross in, but it's blocked. It's played forward there. There's a player down, a Manchester City, Crystal Palace player down. And it looks like Eberechi Eze over there on the far side, the goal scorer. As we've played the full 45 minutes now. I suspect there'll be 2 or 3 minutes stoppage time at least. In fact, 3 minutes has been awarded in the stoppage time, just for the injuries, I think, and the stoppage and playing the goal. I think 3 minutes is reasonable. As Crystal Palace are about to get the game back underway with a free kick. Eberechi Eze is back on his feet now. As on the scoreboard there at Wembley Stadium, added time 3 minutes. And as you can see here, these Crystal Palace fans are it's quite a colourful spectacle. Headed on there by Lacroix, up into the air by Gvardiol, finally headed down by De Bruyne to Manuel Akanji. Akanji decides to go back to his goalkeeper. We've played a minute to the stoppage time. Stefan Ortega clears it. And it's now with O'Reilly. O'Reilly plays the ball across here to Ruben Diaz. Ruben Diaz lifts the ball into the penalty area looking for Haaland. He flicks the ball on as Chris Richards just shields that ball and allows it to go out of play. And it's going to be a goal kick. Frustrating day for Erling Haaland so far. You can actually see the look on his face as well. Frustrating day for Manchester City, really. They've come up against a pretty solid defence and a goalkeeper at the moment that's standing on his head. As Dean Henderson now will take his time with this goal kick. As he is going to clear it right-footed downfield. And gets some distance on it. The header is won by Nico O'Reilly. Mamouche challenging Richards. Richards wins that header. Flicked on by Lacroix and cleared into the Palace half there by Gvardiol. Going down there is Gehi, but helping out there at the back is Daniel Munez. And cleared away, but only as far as Savinio. But that's really good work at the back by Tyreek Mitchell. Gets the ball downfield, looking for the chase in Eberechi Eze, but it's back to the goalkeeper by Ruben Diaz. As we've got 30 seconds left in the 3 minutes at the end of this first half. Of course, it's a minimum of 3 minutes. Mr. Atwell can add on more time if he feels there's been time wasted or time lost. It's a free kick to Manchester City for the foul by Daniel Munoz. It's just inside the Palace half of the field. Down the left-hand side, it's taken quickly. Bernardo Silva gets the ball to Akanji. Akanji now down the right-hand side to Savinio. Savinio gives it back to Akanji. Akanji swings across in. Oh, Lacroix just not able to control it first time. But the second time he blasts it into the Manchester City half of the field. And that is half-time at Wembley Stadium. It's Eberechi Eze's goal on 16 minutes that is the difference. A penalty save and a platter of other fantastic saves by Dean Henderson has ensured that Crystal Palace at half-time of the 2020 FA Cup final go in with a 1-goal lead. Ross, back to you.
Thank you very much there, Paul James. Excellent first half coverage there, Paul. And Paul, just before you go, I just want to get your thoughts on the FA Cup final first half overall. It's been a fantastic game. City with some early chances, but Palace took one of their chances when they got it through Eze and fired it into the back of the net with a fantastic finish from Erebici Eze there. What do you make to the first half overall, Paul?
Oh, it's been a solid performance by Manchester. It's not like they've played badly. They've just been caught cold. They've been caught cold a couple of times, and they've come up in front of a goalkeeper who has been on fantastic form, who's made a wonderful amount of saves, a penalty save. This is a goalkeeper that is on his game today. And the Crystal Palace defence has been pretty solid too. Certainly they've tried to bring Savinho into the game, and Tariq Mitchell is definitely getting the better of that battle between him and Savinho.
Yes, absolutely, Paul. Absolutely. Thank you very much there, Paul. We'll get your thoughts in a bit more details in a few moments' time. Go and get your refreshments that you well and truly deserve right now, which after that first half, excellent commentary, my friend. Let's run you through some other scores from some matches taking place today, and we've got some comments in the comment section below as well from Luke Turton, who says, "Good after that, Henderson playing well. City looked shocked." Absolutely, Luke, and he goes on to say that Palace goal was counter-attacking at its finest, and you've got to say I do agree with you there. Brilliant bit of play from Mateta to hold it up the play, playing Munoz, and then a fantastic ball in for Eze to score the opening goal of the game. It was a well-worked pass from Mateta as well, and then brilliant comeback, and Mateta allowed it to run underneath his legs, as I see it here again. He allowed it to go behind him actually and fire it in. Coming in was Eze, left Ortega with the no chance there, and Luke also goes on to say loving the new graphics too. Thank you very much there, Luke. Indeed, my friend. Thank you very much. Just run you through some scores there from the Scottish Premiership. Celtic 1, St Mirren 1, Dundee United 2, Aberdeen 1, Hibernian 2, Rangers 2. In the League 2 playoff semi-final second leg, AFC Wimbledon 1, Notts County 0. AFC Wimbledon 2-0 on aggregate, with AFC Wimbledon, shall I say, I'll put my teeth back in properly, leading against, going in through to the final to play Walsall on May the 26th, 3 o'clock kickoff for that one. There, in the Scottish League 2 playoff finals, Bonnyrigg Rose 0, East Kilbride 0. East Kilbride win 3-1 on aggregate. There in the Scottish Championship playoffs in the final, Airdrieonians against Cove Rangers. It's an Arcus 5 kickoff. Airdrieonians leading 2-1 from the first leg. Some results from the German Bundesliga to tell you about: Augsburg 1, Union Berlin 2, Borussia Dortmund 3, Holstein Kiel 0, Borussia Mönchengladbach 0, Wolfsburg 1, Freiburg 1, Frankfurt 3, Heidenheim 1, Werder Bremen 4, Hoffenheim 0, Bayern Munich 4. Harry Kane, the Bundesliga top scorer there, with 26 goals in the Bundesliga this season. Mainz 2, Leverkusen 2, Leipzig 2, Stuttgart 3, St. Pauli 0, Bochum 2 as well. In that game there, there's a game in Italian Serie A tonight, 7:45 UK kickoff time for Genoa against Atalanta this evening there. So there's the other scores from up and down the country so far. Nick says he's got a soft spot for AFC Wimbledon, which is the Wombles, which is one of their nicknames. That's good to hear that, Nicholas. Very good to hear, my friend. Nearly Radio Jingles in Yemen goes on to say, well, I don't think City saw this coming, but they do have another half to go. But what a first half for Palace and Henderson. Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely, what a first half for Palace and Henderson. We're just going to take a quick break right now. When we return, we will come back with some more reaction to that first half. You've heard from Wembley, where Crystal Palace currently lead against Manchester City by a goal to nil. Join us shortly, please. Welcome back to our alternative coverage of the FA Cup final, which Crystal Palace lead by 1-0 against Manchester City. It is 1-0 to Crystal Palace. Eze with the goal, well taken goal as well. And Paul, I just want to get your thoughts. I know we didn't touch on it briefly before we went for as half-time break, but just want to get your thoughts now as we get ready for the second half on that penalty miss for Manchester City, because as I mentioned to you, Haaland took the last one he missed, so he passed over to Omar Mamouche. Do you think because of how long since the award was given and the weight played in part on Mamouche's mind and why he missed that, or do you think Henderson just read the situation really, really well?
Yeah, I think Henderson read the situation really, really well. I think Omar Mamouche knew where he wanted to put it. He didn't look phased. He looked very focused in his when it showed the close up on his face. Stuart Atwell was. I don't know why it took Stuart Atwell so long to blow the whistle, to the point that Erling Haaland even told him to get a move on. But from what I can see, I don't think it's to do with that. I just think he went hard. He went for a power shot to the corner, and somehow Dean Henderson got across and made the save. I mean, it was an amazing penalty save.
It wasn't. Manchester City have had a lot of the ball, Paul, a lot of possession, but they've not really created much with that possession. However, when you look at the way Crystal Palace have played in the match, they've had they've took the chance. One of the chances that fell their way through Eze with the fantastic goal. However, they've took some of the other chances we've not been able to take. But City, they've had more of the chances, in my opinion, but yet to really take them. Would you say that's down to poor decision making in the final third, or do you think it's something else to do with why that Man City have not made a penalty, not taken one of their chances? Do you think it's down to poor decision playing the final third, or do you think it's down to great Palace defending?
That's an interesting question, but I think you have to remember that when they did have their chances, they were forced into some very, very good goalkeeping. Look, a goalkeeper in any game, and certainly in any league season, if you want to win the league, you have to have a decent goalkeeper and you have to have a decent defence. That is the same in any cup competition as well. If you want to win it, you have to have a goalkeeper that can stand on his head and steal a couple of matches, and also a defence that is solid. I don't think Manchester City have played particularly badly in that first half. I just think they've come across a good goalkeeper, and they are going to have to work out ways in which they can score past him. So they are going to have to approach it slightly differently in the second half. But when you've got a goalkeeper making those kind of saves, there's not really much you can do. You've just got to keep shooting, and you've got to keep trying different ways to break down this Crystal Palace defence, and Dean Henderson is playing the game of his life.
Absolutely, Paul, absolutely. I know at the top of the show you thought Man City would win away with it. Now that, and potentially we just seem to have just lost Paul there for a moment or two. We'll try and work on getting Paul back in just a moment or two. I can tell you we appear to have Paul back with us now. Can you hear us, Paul?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, no, it's Paul. Just before the second half gets underway, my friend, just want to ask you, with Man City, you gave Man City a comfortable win in your predictions. Obviously, that's not the case now. Do you think City can turn this around, or do you think Palace will hold on to win this game?
Well, of course they can turn it around. It's only one goal in it, but again, when you're coming up against a goalkeeper this good, City are going to have to be at their very best in the second half if they want to get back into this game.
Absolutely. Absolutely, sir. Well, then, with the second half almost getting ready to get underway, then let me hand you back over to your match commentator for that second half. He's back over then to Paul James.
Thank you very much, Ross. Welcome, everybody. So, yes, the second half is about to get underway here. Dean Henderson has just made his way back into his goal. He's playing some fantastic football. There hasn't been any changes by either side at half-time. The team lineups are there on the screen in front of you if you're just joining us now. Some of the fans obviously still at the refreshment stands as we're just waiting now for Stuart Atwell to get the second half underway, which Manchester City have here. They will attack the goal to the right in the second half. I'll read out some of the chats in a moment. And Kevin De Bruyne gets the game underway as we get the start of the second half going here. Luke Turton says, good half that. Henderson playing well. City looks sharp. That Palace goal was counter-attacking at its finest. Loving the new graphics too. Well, thanks very much, Luke. Well, of course, you are largely responsible for those graphics and creating them and showing us how to use those graphics. So we're definitely grateful to you for that. Media, Radio, Jingles and Gaming says, I don't think City saw this coming, but they do have another half to go. What a first half Palace and Henderson. Well, here is Savinho. Savinho gets a cross in towards the back post, and Chris Richards gets a header on there, and the shot is drilled in again as there's no let up from this Manchester City pressure, and finally Palace get the ball away. And here is Ismail Assar, just drops the ball back to Eberici Eze. And there's Mark Gahey. Cleared forward that time by Muniz. And now here is Tariq Mitchell. Tariq Mitchell tries to play the ball through to Jean-Philippe Mateta, but that's good, simple defending by Ruben Diaz. Another comment in the comment section from White Maggot. Welcome, and let us know where you're listening from. Love the broadcast, great stuff. The last time I came across your channel, I was wanting to commentate on your channel. Love the channel, mate. Go Palace. Thanks very much. Well, we're glad you're enjoying it, and please feel free to subscribe if you haven't already done so. And let us know where you're listening from and what the weather's like. Here is number 26, Savinho. Savinho tries to get to the byline, beats Tariq Mitchell this time. The ball comes across, and Chris Richards clears the ball out of play. And it's picked up again, this time by Akanji, and given to Bernardo Silva. And here is O'Reilly. O'Reilly launches the ball into the area looking for Haaland, and it's just knocked behind by Lacroix for another corner to Manchester City as the relentless City pressure continues. Chris Richards denying Erling Haaland a free header there on the replay, and Manchester and Palace defending very, very tight at the moment. And I've lost count of the amount of Palace it's a goal kick actually, but I've lost count of the amount of Manchester City corners that we've had in this game. There's Maxence Lacroix, who clears the ball downfield. Picked up by Jean-Philippe Mateta, just holding the ball up and dropping it back to Adam Wharton. Wharton clears the ball forward to Eberici Eze. And, picking up the ball there was Daichi Kamada. He goes down under the challenge. And the free kick has been given the other way, though, to Manchester City. And here's Bernardo Silva, just inside the centre circle. Out wide to Manuel Akanji. And here's Akanji again. That's a really good ball to Savinho. Savinho gets the cross in. Oh, it's over everybody's head. It's right to Jeremy Doku now. Jeremy Doku with a shot, and it's over the crossbar. Just curling it from the left corner of the penalty area. And over the crossbar from Jeremy Doku. And, it was a good effort, but he just got a bit too much height on that. And it's over the crossbar. That is an answer for Ross. Are you guys still looking for commentators? I have to get. I'll get Ross to answer that for me. Ross, in answer to that question, please, when you get a minute. And the ball is going to be played downfield now. as taking a look at Pep Guardiola, who's talking to his assistant there. Here's Ismail Assar over by the touchline. The ball is knocked out of play by Nico O'Reilly, and it's going to be a throw-in for Crystal Palace. It's level with the Manchester City penalty area. And it's going to be taken by Chris Richards, actually. He's going to go for the long throw-in. Richards looking for the long ball. And the heads go up there. It's bouncing around. And it's Emery Eze with a shot. It's blocked. Followed up by a shot from Adam Wharton. And that was blocked too. And Eze there just saw the sight of goal. And I've got an answer to your question, White Maggot, in a moment here. I just want to see that. That was a good effort by Eberechi Eze, and it's actually a really good block by Manuel Akanji. So in answer to your question, yes, we are. You can actually get in touch with us via direct message on Twitter at Commentary Live 1. Okay, so that's at Commentary Live 1 if you want to get involved. We are looking for additional commentators right now. Feel free to get in touch with us, and Ross will be in touch with you. 5 minutes of the second half gone. It is Crystal Palace 1, Manchester City 0, as we take a look at that Eberechi Eze goal again. And just showed a flash look there at Pep Guardiola, whose head went into his hands. He did not look impressed with that goal. And it is, you can see here as well, some of the other chances, that's some of the saves that Dean Henderson has made in this game. It's been really impressive. As Dean Henderson just is now wearing a baseball cap in this second half, because the sun is still flashing into his eyes. He's wearing a blue baseball cap, as the camera is just going around Wembley Stadium now, taking us absolutely filled to capacity. And well, I have to say, we are still looking at a 1-goal Crystal Palace lead, and the more that time goes on, the more that City will be desperate. You're not missing anything, by the way. There appears to be a stoppage in play. The more that Manchester City will become desperate and press forward, and that does leave the City defence open to counter-attack. So this should certainly be a really interesting last 44 minutes or so. Mark Gahey is the man that is down, as we just take a look there at some former England managers. There's Roy Hodgson, he's a former Crystal Palace manager, of course. Gareth Southgate, former England manager. And they are watching on from what looks like a very comfortable position. As we are still waiting to get this game back underway. Premier League games tomorrow. There is a game on my own channel on Focus on Football, which is part of the Commentary Hub group tomorrow. It is Arsenal versus Newcastle, as we take a look at Coppell there, Steve Coppell, the former Crystal Palace manager, also took Crystal Palace to the final in 1990 against Manchester United. 2 goals by Ian Wright came very close to winning it for Crystal Palace before a Mark Hughes equaliser in the second period of extra time sent that game to a replay, which Manchester United won 1-0 from a Lee Martin goal. So we have had this really long stoppage now, and we're still waiting to get the game back underway. Gahey has left the field now. He's still receiving treatment, and the ball has been handed back to Crystal Palace. It's long downfield, looking for Eberechi Eze, and the ball goes out of play as we take a look at the current England manager there. And here is the number 20, Bernardo Silva. Silva gives the ball to Ruben Diaz. Diaz to Manuel Akanji. Akanji got the ball. Palace currently down to 10 men with Gahey off the field. Here is Kevin De Bruyne. Back to Akanji. De Bruyne again, right hand side. Back to Akanji. And the ball is across to Bernardo Silva. Out to Jeremy Doku now, down the left hand side. Doku, back to Gavardiol. Gavardiol back to the number 3, Ruben Diaz, and all the way back to they were looking for Kevin De Bruyne again, but it was cleared away by Lacroix into the Manchester City half of the field, but they have the ball back as Ortega met it on close to the halfway line. And it is Akanji again, midway inside the Crystal Palace half of the field. It's Bernardo Silva now. Silva drops the ball back there to Gavardiol. Diaz lifts the ball in the middle, looking for O'Reilly with a header. The header was won by Chris Richards, helped along by Adam Wharton, only as far as Josko Gavardiol. And here is Ruben Diaz. Diaz gets the ball back to Gavardiol. Gavardiol out wide there to Manuel Akanji. It's a good ball there. Savino just puts his foot on the ball and plays the ball to De Bruyne. De Bruyne tries to swing that ball in. Once again, Maxence Lacroix clears the ball away. Headed on by Jean-Philippe Mateta. Only as far as Gavardiol. Gavardiol swings across in. There's a header from Mamouche. It might have just cleared his head actually. And it's cleared away there. And what a chance there as the ball was whipped in. It looked like it went just over Mamouche's head. And it's picked up by Bernardo Silva. Out wide. And here is an opportunity for Jeremy Doku. Cuts inside. Oh, that's a great ball to O'Reilly. O'Reilly with a chance. It's blocked. O'Reilly again, and that's really good defending by Daichi Kamada there. And as we just look at this ball again, this is really good work. Daichi Kamada sliding in, making a double challenge. Now it goes out of play for a Manchester City corner. But once again, really hard work defending by the Eagles. As City now have the corner with Kevin De Bruyne down the left-hand side this corner. It's swung in. Erling Haaland heads the ball up in the air, punched out by Henderson. Tries to cross in again by Haaland, and he gets it back. It's a volley by Haaland, but it's well over, high wide, and not so handsome. Russ, so you know, I think the fella there has sent a mess. He's only on Facebook. White Maggot, I was only on Facebook as well. I signed up to Twitter and just sent a message. It's a pretty simple process. And then Russ will get back in touch with you when he has some time. Certainly with the Club World Cup in the summer, we certainly could use some extra commentators because I have limited availability for that myself. The ball is cleared forward downfield, looking for the number 24, Gavardiol. Hooked away by O'Reilly. Palace win the ball back. The cross into the middle is looking for Eberici Eze again. The two Manchester City players get confused for a moment. Akanji and Diaz just drills the ball out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in. Throw over by the corner flag. And it's going to be taken by Chris Richards. It's on the left-hand side. Crystal Palace 1, Manchester City 0. We've had 57.5 minutes here at Wembley Stadium, and Palace still holding on. It's a long throw by Chris Richards into the penalty area. It's bouncing around there. Finally, Lacroix gets it, and it's still bouncing around, and here's a chance, and it's two! And Crystal Palace has scored again! And it's Daniel Muniz! And Palace are 2 goals to the good! Oh my goodness me, that was some chaotic defending. And Daniel Muniz, that is really sloppy from Stefan Ortega, I have to say. There's got to be questions asked about Ortega and the Manchester City defence. And, well, let's take a look at this again, because this pretty much came out of just really a scramble. The throw-in by Chris Richards, it was bouncing around. The shot came in, I think that was off Lacroix. Ortega spilt it, and Daniel Muniz was nipping in at the back post. Gahey and Sarr are offside, but they weren't interfering with play. Oh, that is terribly sloppy play by Ortega. Let's take a look at this again. It takes a deflection. This goal is going to be disallowed. This goal is going to be disallowed. They've got to disallow this goal. Sarr was in an offside position, and it took a deflection off Sarr, which may be wrong-footed Ortega. It was put in by Muniz, but I think this goal is going to get disallowed. At least I think it is. They're reviewing it now, and at the same time they're taking a drink, but I think this goal is going to be disallowed on 58 minutes. Definitely Ismail Assar was standing in an offside position when that shot was struck. This goal is going to be disallowed, I'm sure. The referee is just is waiting for VAR. VAR are looking at it right now. You can see when the shot was taken, Sarr is in an offside position, and it struck off Lassar. This is going to be ruled out for sure. And indeed, this is ruled out, and it remains at 1-0. Offside for Ismail Assar. Daniel Muniz can't believe it, and Stefan Ortega's blushes have been spared, and Crystal Palace, well, Crystal Palace denied the second goal, but it was offside. There was no question about it, in my opinion. Palace play, well, there's arguments there. There's going to be a substitution. Gahey has come off. So Mark Gahey has come off. I'm just trying to see who has come on. You should be able to see that on your screen in just a moment. But Gahey is off, and there's arguments there on the Manchester City bench. And something is going on there on the Manchester City bench with one of the backroom staff. Gahey is off, and coming on is Jefferson Lerma. So this is good in the sense for Manchester City, losing a key defender, Palace having Mark Gahey, and Jefferson Lerma is on right now as Manchester City run that ball behind for a goal kick. And Lerma is on 61 minutes for Daniel Muniz. For Mark Gahey. And well, they're still arguing on the bench there. I think they're arguing with a fourth official or something. The goal has been disallowed, so I'm not quite sure what they're arguing about. But City are coming forward now with Omar Mamouche. Mamouche plays the ball out wide to De Bruyne on the right-hand side. De Bruyne's cross is blocked. And that's Jefferson Lerma's first piece of action in the game as he clears the ball towards the halfway line. It's picked up there by the number 3, and that is Ruben Diaz. Out wide to Jeremy Doku. Doku cuts inside the left-hand side. It's flicked up in the air by Chris Richards. Have not been able to get in the way of Crystal Palace. And now Daniel Muniz clears the ball downfield and into the Manchester City half. And take a look here. And the ball now is with Gvardiol. Gvardiol played forward down the left-hand side. Chasing that one is Jeremy Doku, but that just goes way too much on that. And it goes behind for a goal kick. And Manchester City, another move breaks down. Surely changes will be looked at being made soon. At the moment, it's just not working for Manchester City. They nearly conceded a second goal, albeit it was offside and disallowed. And it's cleared downfield. And picking up that is Josko Gvardiol. Gvardiol holds the ball up, gives it to Bernardo Silva. Crossing the halfway line is Bernardo Silva. He's got help down the right-hand side with Manuel Akanji. Further forward is Savinio. Bernardo Silva across to Ruben Diaz. Back to Silva again. Now he's got Doku over on the left-hand side, who seems to have been the biggest threat for Manchester City in this game so far. Quick 1-2 with Akanji. Akanji now gets the ball back, and it's De Bruyne. Akanji midway inside the Crystal Palace half of the field. and they're pushing Crystal Palace back here. And Ruben Diaz gets the ball back with Ismail Assar closing in. Finally, it's Ruben Diaz again. He gets over the halfway line. Plays the ball forward there, laid off by Kevin De Bruyne to Omar Mamouche to Savinho. Savinho now cuts inside. Cross coming in, well, the cross didn't come in by Manuel Akanji. He was certainly tempted to. Here's Savinho. Savinho dropped back to Ruben Diaz. Gvardiol. Here's Doku down the left. Doku checks back. He doesn't want to try and challenge Tyrick Mitchell again. Here's Gvardiol to De Bruyne. He's about 30 yards out. He drops the ball back there to Savinho. Savinho lifts a crossing with the outside of his boot, but that is not going to trouble Dean Henderson, who comes out and claims that ball very easily. So, Crystal Palace 1, Manchester City 0. As you join us on this Saturday afternoon at 4:30. Kick-off for this game. Usually I'm on the Sunday afternoon at 4:30, and I will be tomorrow on my own channel on Focus on Football for the Match in Focus Live, which is live audio coverage of Arsenal and Newcastle. Do join us for that. And the ball is cleared forward to Erling Haaland. Haaland tries to find Omar Mamouche, really well read by Jefferson Lerma. And now it's played forward to Daniel Munez, and that's a yellow card, surely. Yeah, so you get a straight yellow here for Nico O'Reilly. There was no attempt to win that ball whatsoever, and that is no doubt a yellow card for the young man. And a free kick for Crystal Palace. 66 minutes gone. Nico O'Reilly picking up the Cup Final's first yellow card of the game. A free kick to Crystal Palace now, which Chris Richards will take. It's just inside his own half. He goes long over to the left-hand side to Tyrick Mitchell. And across there to the number 8, Jefferson Lerma. Lerma looking for Munez, making the run on the far side. Munez, and that's a good challenge there by Jeremy Doku. Really good piece of defending by the front man there. And goes behind. And, well, it's a corner for Crystal Palace. As we take a look at that opportunity there. And it's a good run by Daniel Munez. He's been very impressive today. He's got an assist, almost got a goal himself, of course. Disallowed for Ismail Assar in the offside position. And the free kick is going to be taken here. And it's going to be a corner to be taken rather by Adam Wharton, swung into the penalty area, headed on by Lerma. Lerma once again challenging with Bernardo Silva. The ball is up in the air. It's headed out by Haaland. Only as far as Daichi Kamada with a shot, and it's not that far away. It's just over the crossbar. Dropping down there was Daichi Kamada's effort, and a good effort there. And Manchester City now can come forward from the goal kick. Here is Manuel Akanji. Akanji played forward to Savinho. Gets back to Akanji from the sliding challenge from Daichi Kamada. We have 22 minutes left here. Crystal Palace 1, Manchester City 0. How desperate will Manchester City be to get back into this game now? The ball is long, looking there for Jeremy Doku. Maxence Lacroix getting in the way of that with the header, but it's only as far as Ruben Diaz. And now here is Manuel Akanji. Akanji holds the ball up. It's a good pass across there to Bernardo Silva. Silva drops the ball. A good challenge that time by Ismail Assar. And now here's Adam Wharton trying to set off Ismail Assar on his way. And it goes back to the goalkeeper from Josko Gvardiol. And Manuel Akanji now picks up the ball, gives the ball to Gvardiol again. And, well, City streaming forward now with Gvardiol. But he's given the ball away to Adam Wharton. And now Ismail Assar, who was in an offside position. And that's going to be a free kick to Crystal Palace. As you have to wonder when Manchester City are going to start making those changes, because as we approach the 19 minutes remaining mark, He's not made any changes as of yet. On the bench, of course, he's got Jack Grealish, Nico Gonzalez, Ilkay Gundogan. He's looking for creativity. Phil Foden for creativity and attacking flair. There's plenty of options on the bench for Pep, and so far he's decided not to use them. And here's Lerma, Kamada, Mitchell, and here is Kamada again. Drops the ball back here to the number 5, Maxence Lacroix. It's a long ball looking for Daniel Muniz, putting Nico O'Reilly under pressure. O'Reilly goes down. The challenge between these two sides, O'Reilly goes down again, and the free kick has been awarded to Manchester City. A pretty good battle between those two. As the Eagles of Crystal Palace are on their feet singing right now. This is for the 20 minutes to go. They are leading by a goal to nil. Let's see if they can hang on to this as City come forward again with Manuel Akanji. Drops the ball back to Ruben Diaz. Over the halfway line is Bernardo Silva. Silva to Diaz. Diaz finds Savinho. Tariq Mitchell immediately goes out to meet Savinho. Savinho drops the ball back there to Akanji. Good ball across there to Bernardo Silva. Met by Jeremy Doku. Doku now. And he's running at the defence is Doku. Doku gets the cross in. And it's brought down by Eberechi Eze. It's just poked away there by Ismail Assar. And it's picked up by Manuel Akanji. Akanji tries to play the ball out wide now to Savinho. Can he get the cross in? He can, but that's a really good block by Tariq Mitchell, who really has had a super game himself in that left-back position, having to deal with Savinho. And it's taken quickly by Akanji. The throw-in, that is, and it's dropped back to the number 3, Ruben Diaz. Back to Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne tries to play the ball through. It's back to De Bruyne on the edge of the area. It's blocked by Richards. And it's out wide again to Jeremy Doku. Doku holds the ball back. And it's Gvardiol to Ruben Diaz. Perhaps looking for a shot. No. He gives the ball to Savinho again. Savinho. Across to Gvardiol. It's going to take a goal, really, I think, of fantastic quality to beat Dean Henderson today. But here's Doku. Back to De Bruyne. De Bruyne with a shot. Oh, it clatters Adam Wharton square in the face. And he goes down. And that must have been extremely painful. I'm not sure why Chris Richards is blaming Kevin De Bruyne for that. It's a shot on goal which is entitled to make. And it hit him square on the side of the head, knocked him off his feet, and that, rather him than me, I have to be honest. That looked very, very painful. Let's hope he's okay. He's still down at the moment, so there is going to be another delay. Kevin De Bruyne, he is in his last season for Manchester City. Rumours are he's going to go to Saudi Arabia. I think regardless of his age, he's still one of the best midfielders in the world. I think any club will be happy to have him. In my opinion, he gets in most clubs in the Premier League and most clubs in Europe. But he may choose to go to Saudi Arabia for one last paycheck before the end of his career. Phil Foden now preparing himself. There is action finally on the Manchester City bench. Ilkay Gundogan, Jeremy Doku and Phil Foden are all warming up right now. We'll see whether we see them making an appearance anytime soon. Adam Wharton is going to have to leave the field. I suspect those cobwebs still haven't properly cleared out of his head yet. That did look very, very painful. As he's just sort of limping off there. Well, not really so much limping, but he does not look... his legs are, as you would say in boxing, his legs are very rubbery. Here is Bernardo Silva as the game is back underway. It's Jeremy Doku now, corner of the penalty area, left-hand side. Back to Gvardiol. Gvardiol goes down under the challenge. And here's Ismail Assar now for Crystal Palace. He's dispossessed by Kevin De Bruyne. And now, can Manchester City capitalise? It is Doku. Plays the ball across to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva skips into the penalty area. Here's Savinho. Tries to get the shot in. It's blocked by Tyreek Mitchell. Back to Savinho again. Savinho back to the number 25, Manuel Akanji. And here's Kevin De Bruyne now. Tries to play the ball through. Chance for Nico O'Reilly. It's blocked. And more great defending by Crystal Palace. This time Daniel Muniz with a block. And it's back to the edge of the area. And the shot came in from Nico O'Reilly for a second time. And it goes wide. But what a chance here for Nico O'Reilly. I think he just took too long. If he'd have struck it a little bit quicker, he might have had a clear shot on goal. And now here's Doku again for Manchester City. Bernardo Silva. And now Crystal Palace win the ball back. It's Jean-Philippe Mateta. Surely that's a foul. And it's going to be another yellow card. And who's it waved at this time? Bernardo Silva, I think. Late challenge by Bernardo Silva. Take a look on Jean-Philippe Mateta. To be fair, he tried to win the ball. I think that yellow card is a little bit harsh. He did try to win the ball, Bernardo Silva. But he picks up the yellow card. 75 minutes. And take a look at this again. This pass by De Bruyne. O'Reilly had a good 2 seconds to get that shot away there. I think he wanted it on his favoured left foot before striking it, as finally changes are being made now. And just going to go through these changes with you now. Phil Foden is coming on. And I'm just trying to see who it is. Omar Mamouche has come off as well. So we'll just get you the substitutes for you here in a moment. So they've actually brought on the young man. You can see them coming up on your screen there. So if you want to just make a note of that, I'll run them through them or verbally with you though. Omar Mamouche and Savinho have come off, and coming on is Claudio Echeverri and Phil Foden are the substitutes there, as here comes Manchester City forward now, and picked up here by Adam Wharton, who dispossesses. It's not surprising to see Phil Foden at this stage. But here is Jefferson Lerma. Jefferson Lerma. With 76 minutes gone. It is excellent opportunity for Claudio Echeverri, though. It's the first time I've seen him in a Manchester City shirt myself, so it'd be interesting to see how he plays. But the ball is now with Ruben Diaz. And Savinho, of course, was the other substitute going off. And here comes the number 3, Ruben Diaz. Gives the ball to Bernardo Silva. It's out wide now to Phil Foden. Foden tries to get the ball back there to Akanji. Akanji picks up the ball again, tries to get the cross in. It's behind for a goal kick. It's a poor cross by Manuel Akanji, in fairness. As Palace now also looking to make a substitution. It looks like Jean-Philippe Mateta is going to make way for Eddie Nketiah. The former Arsenal player Eddie Nketiah is coming on now, and Jean-Philippe Mateta is making way for him as the second Palace substitution is made. Been a good game for Mateta. He's tried to hold the ball up, and he's struggled a little bit up there on his own, but he's also played quite well in the sense that he's really been able to hold the ball up well. He's been able to use his strength to allow these attacking influences by Crystal Palace, as rare as they've been, to come about. The ball is headed into the City half of the field. O'Reilly picks the ball up. Bernardo Silva launches the ball downfield, and it's headed back to the goalkeeper by Jefferson Lerma, as we have 12 minutes left in this game. And well, Manchester City look like they might be running out of ideas. This takes me back to the 1988 FA Cup final between Wimbledon and Liverpool, where Dave Besson also saved the penalty, and a shot was brought about that day. And here is Manuel Akanji. Gives the ball to Phil Foden. Foden across there to De Bruyne. De Bruyne, good play by De Bruyne. Holds the ball up on the edge of the area. He's going to get the ball to Akanji. Can Akanji get the cross in? No, it's blocked and goes back to the number 17, De Bruyne, who gives it to Diaz. Diaz to Bernardo Silva. Silva now to Doku. Cuts inside the penalty area. Does Doku. Still has possession, but it's cleared away by Chris Richards. Out of play. Is it going to make it that far? Jefferson Lerma tries to shield it out, but it's won back by Josko Gavardio, and he keeps that ball in play. And City now storming forward again with Bernardo Silva, and it's out wide to Akanji. Akanji's got Phil Foden up there with him. Bernardo Silva. Ruben Diaz. Back to the number 17, Kevin De Bruyne. And here's Phil Foden now. Can he try to get Manchester City back in this game? And it's back with De Bruyne. De Bruyne tries to get the cross in, but it's blocked. That time by Jefferson Lerma, and that goes behind for another corner to Manchester City. And, well, what a game we have been watching here. It's been mostly Manchester City from start to finish, but Palace still holding that one-goal lead with 10 minutes to go. The corner is going to be taken by Phil Foden. It's swung in. There's a header by Erling Haaland, and it's way over the crossbar. And Crystal Palace get a goal kick. And Ross has just advised me that Claudio Echeverri has played his first minute since February after joining from River Plate. So this is a first look for me at Claudio Echeverri, and of course, if you are going to tune into the Club World Cup, you'll get to see River Plate. They are in action, as are Manchester City, and it's cleared downfield by Dean Henderson. Header is won there by Jefferson Lerma. Here's Adam Wharton. Out wide now to Daniel Munez. Oh, it's good work by Jeremy Doku. Well played by him. Gets the ball back off Daniel Munez. And it's a good ball to Kevin De Bruyne. And now City on the break, perhaps. It's a long ball over the top, looking for Erling Haaland. Haaland tries to flick the ball on here for Foden. Foden gives the ball back. Foden again to Kevin De Bruyne. Oh, here's a real chance for Echeverri! And a chance again, and another wonderful save by Dean Henderson, as Claudio Echeverri nearly became the first South American since Sergio Aguero to score in an FA Cup final. Let's look at this again. Beautiful play by Kevin De Bruyne. Really good play. He must have been reeling up for the shot there. Saw the better pass to Echeverri. And that is another super save by Dean Henderson. It took a bit of a deflection as well, as Echeverri was trying to go for the rebound. The City fans' head in their hands. They can't believe it. Where is the answer of the way through for Manchester City and against Dean Henderson? And, well, it's a free kick now. I think I'll be given a throw. It's a throw into Manchester City. Ruben Diaz has picked up a yellow card. Not sure exactly what for, perhaps arguing with the official. But Ruben Diaz is the latest Manchester City player to go into Mr. Atwell's notebook. As here's Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva gives the ball there to Kevin De Bruyne. It's now with Ruben Diaz. And the ball out to the right-hand side to Manuel Akanji, to Phil Foden. Foden flicks the ball back to Echeverri. And now here is Akanji again. The cross is swung in by Ruben Diaz, headed out by Chris Richard, who's been a rock in that Palace defence today. And now here comes, oh, that's a terrible, terrible foul. The referee says play on. It's a long ball over the top, looking for Ismail Assar. And, well, Crystal Palace there, it was Eddie Nketiah that was took down. No further action from the referee at this point, as here is Bernardo Silva, just inside the centre circle. The ball is out to the right-hand side to Echeverri. Echeverri has been involved early on since he's been coming onto the field. He's already shown himself to be a nuisance, one to look at this next season for sure. As here is Eddie Nketiah. He's fouled again, and referee finally is going to get his notebook out. These are not challenges where they're trying to win the ball, and it's a frustrated Kevin De Bruyne, admittedly, but it's a yellow card. It's an unacceptable challenge in my mind. And we've got some comments in the comment section. White Maggot says 9 more minutes for Palace. Sweat private bits off. Do something, Palace, God mate. Okay, well, all right. Well, probably shouldn't have read one of those comments out, but 5 minutes to go, and you can see the frustration on the Manchester City bench, and you can see that person looks short of ideas, as the cross there by Daniel Muniz is a poor, not by Daniel Muniz, by Eddie Nketiah is a poor one, and it just goes behind for a goal kick. It's taken quickly. I'll be announcing the player of the match in about 3 or 4 minutes here. And here is Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne, oh, it's a poor ball by De Bruyne, and it's won back well there for Crystal Palace. Here is Eddie Nketiah. And it's a cross there to Daniel Muniz, back to Ismail Assar. Ismail Assar tries to swing the ball in and cleared away, and Adam Wharton wins the ball back to Eberechi Eze. Eze wins the ball, well, he just drops it back to Chris Richards. And there's Lacroix. It's a good ball to Jefferson Lerma. Lerma plays the ball long over on the far side. That's well picked up by Ismail Assar. Palace coming forward, and here's Daniel Muniz. Swings the shot, the cross comes shot in. It goes across the face of goal. Nobody challenging it, and it goes out of play for a throw-in, as we have 4 minutes left in this 2025 FA Cup final between Crystal Palace and Manchester City. And so far, the surprise is on the cards. And you can see there that ball goes out of play. The cross comes shot really by Daniel Muniz. And ready to come on is Will Hughes now for Crystal Palace. And Adam Wharton is making way. He is done for the day. Adam Wharton coming off. It's been a good performance by him today, by all of these Crystal Palace players. It's what I would call a true hard-working team effort by Crystal Palace today. With 3 minutes to go, that change is made, and Will Hughes is on now as the throw-in is taken by Manchester City and cleared away by Bernardo Silva. Closing in there, I think, was Eddie Nketiah, but City coming forward now. And here's Bernardo Silva to Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne to Phil Foden. Foden challenges. Is dispossessed. This is good work by Eberechi Eze. And tries to give the ball there to Eddie Nketiah. Nketiah tries to play it off a Manchester City player, but it looks like it's come off Nketiah last, did it? Nope, it is a throw-in to Crystal Palace. And it's going to be taken by Tyreek Mitchell, who is going to take all the time in the world with this. But there's been a couple of long stoppages in the second half. I don't expect to see anything less than about 7 minutes at the very least in stoppage time, maybe 8. Substitution for Manchester City, Bernardo Silva goes off, and on comes Ilkay Gundogan, as he's the latest player to be brought on for Manchester City. Bernardo Silva, who's been quite impressive, worked hard today. He's the latest player to be replaced. And it's back with goalkeeper Dean Henderson, who is going to clear this ball downfield. And it's picked up here in the middle of the park by Daichi Kamada to Will Hughes. And there is Lacroix. It's a good ball by Lacroix, and in an offside position is Eddie Nketiah, and it's going to be a free kick. But we might as well give you the man of the match now. So the man of the match for the 2025 FA Cup final can be given to none other than Crystal Palace's goalkeeper Dean Henderson, a plethora of fantastic saves all the way through this game has ensured that Crystal Palace, with a minute to go, hold a 1-goal lead. What a performance today. And today's man of the match, as sponsored by Commentary Services, goes to Crystal Palace's number 1, Dean Henderson. Here is chance inside the penalty area for Doku. Jeremy Doku cuts back and drops it back to Ruben Diaz. Diaz to Phil Foden. Foden drops the ball back to Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne across to Josko Gvardiol. Gvardiol drops it to De Bruyne again. Ruben Diaz, time ticking down. We're going to get to the stoppage time amount very shortly. Once we have that, we'll put it up on the screen for you. It's out wide to Ruben Diaz. Diaz. 10 minutes has been confirmed as stoppage time. Here's a chance now for Nico O'Reilly. And the cross coming into the back post there from Echeverri, but it escapes Erling Haaland. There has been 10 minutes given. I'm not surprised with the long stoppages in the second half, the disallowed goal, the injuries to Mark Gahey and also Adam Wharton when he went down from the shot by Kevin De Bruyne. 10 minutes that Crystal Palace have to hang on. Will this amount of time give renewed hope to Manchester City? It's going to be an enthralling 10 minutes left in this FA Cup final. Cleared downfield. The header is won there by Josko Gvardiol. Won again and headed on by Lerma. Eddie Nketiah not able to bring the ball under control. Muniz heads the ball on. Dean Henderson has been given a yellow card for time wasting. As picking up the ball in midfield here. This is really good play by Tyreek Mitchell. He played it off Phil Foden there. It's going to be a free kick. So Dean Henderson picks up a yellow card for time wasting. Not surprised. Here's Kevin De Bruyne. It's out wide to Doku on the left-hand side. Doku skipping inside. He goes down. No penalty. Now that'll be cleared away, but only as far as Gvardiol. As City now giving it one last ditch, one last almighty effort to try to get themselves back into this game. It's De Bruyne. Swings the ball in. It's just cleared away there. Really not very far. As it's Lerma again, but it's picked up now by Manuel Akanji. Echeverri. It's about 30 yards out. Gets the ball to Gvardiol. It's out wide to Doku. It's all or nothing now for the Sky Blues. Here's Doku. Gets to the byline. The cross is headed out to the edge of the area. And it comes back in with a shot! Just on the edge of the area from De Bruyne. The header out from Lacroix. And it fell straight to the feet of Kevin De Bruyne. Took one touch and struck the shot. Well, it had Dean Henderson scrambling. I think he had it. He may or may not have had it covered. But it just goes wide regardless. And that has been Manchester City's afternoon so far. So many nearlies. And Russ says that penalty miss could prove costly for the citizens. Indeed it could. And now here's Chris Richards. He's just going to take the ball probably back to Dean Henderson. But the referee, Stuart Atwell, has blown up for a free kick. Daniel Muniz gets to his feet, but he's been given the free kick against him. And it's a quick free kick taken just inside the Manchester City half. And here's Kevin De Bruyne now. De Bruyne plays the ball forward to Echeverri. Echeverri cuts inside with a shot. It's blocked. And Will Hughes now coming forward. Will Hughes plays the ball forward. The attendance at Wembley today is 84,163. A lot of people here today. And here is Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne to Eberechi Eze. Eze holds the ball up, plays the ball forward here to Daniel Muniz. Eze is down flat on his back and it's going to be a free kick for Crystal Palace, which will be a relief on their defence that has had pressure put on it for about 90% of this game. As we take a look, that's a late challenge by Echeverri. I suspect he will go now into Stuart Atwell's notebook. Indeed he has. It's a yellow card for Echeverry. Claudio Echeverry. I have been quite impressed with him from what I've seen so far. He has proven himself to be a bit of a nuisance, and for me it looks a very good signing for Manchester City. As the Crystal Palace fans now starting to celebrate, they feel the job might be done, but it's never over until it's over. Here's Ismaila Sarr. A second goal now will kill it, but Ismaila Sarr now is going to keep the ball in the corner. A veteran play by the Crystal Palace attacking midfielder, but it's won back there by Ilkay Gundogan. And now Gundogan storming forward for Manchester City. And there's Phil Foden to Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne over the halfway line to Manuel Akanji. Out wide to Phil Foden. This is good play by Manchester City. Here is Akanji. I want to thank everyone that's listened and commented in this game today. We appreciate you spending your valuable time with us, listening to this cup final. It's been a fantastic game. And that's the ball out wide to Gvardiol to Jeremy Doku now. Inside the penalty area. Will Hughes just gets there before Gvardiol and puts the ball out of play. With 5 minutes of the 10 minutes of stoppage time remaining. It's Crystal Palace 1, Manchester City 0. And here's De Bruyne. Back to Ruben Diaz. Out wide to Jeremy Doku. Doku trying to get to the byline and get the cross in. It's blocked by Richards and the shot comes in again, this time by Echeverry. It's another fine save by Dean Henderson. And now here is Akanji. And it's Foden, flicks the ball over to Akanji. Akanji with a cross in. It's bouncing around now. Echeverry with a chance, it's blocked. City appealing for a penalty. Nothing doing, says Stuart Atwell. And it's cleared into the Manchester City half, met by Stefan Ortega. And now here is Gvardiol to Ilkay Gundogan. Gundogan to Kevin De Bruyne, and now to Manuel Akanji. Manuel Akanji under pressure there from Tariq Mitchell. Gets the ball back. Here's Ruben Diaz. Doku again now. Jeremy Doku just cuts inside. Is he going to get to the byline? He's going to hold the ball up. Gives it back to Diaz. And now here's De Bruyne. De Bruyne plays it back into his own half. It's met again by Stefan Ortega on the halfway line. And here's Kevin De Bruyne with this 3.5 minutes left for Palace to hold on. It's Phil Foden now. Foden swings the ball in, it goes over everybody's head and behind for a goal kick. And to the almighty roar of the Crystal Palace fans. And right now, Crystal Palace are on the verge of having a new name put on the FA Cup. That famous old trophy. This 3 minutes away from a new name being added. The Crystal Palace winning their first ever FA Cup. And, well, let's see if they can do it. There is still time remaining as Dean Henderson gets the ball downfield. Dean Henderson is our man of the match this afternoon after an enthralling performance. The ball is played forward and it's out of play. And throw in to be taken quickly there by Nico O'Reilly. And City now are going to have to make a hustling effort to get forward as time is running out. It's basically now or never for City. They've got about 2 minutes remaining, plus any additional time that Stuart Atwell might add on. The ball is launched into the penalty area. Good header by Tariq Mitchell. He's been a rock at the back for Crystal Palace. Here's Manuel Akanji. Akanji out wide on the right-hand side to Phil Foden. Foden back to Akanji. And across to De Bruyne. De Bruyne lifts it over the top, looking there for Jeremy Doku, but it's too far away from him. And Dean Henderson just shields that ball, allowing it to go out of play for a throw-in. The Palace fans, they are praying. Some of them can't even watch what's going on. And the Manchester City fans, oh, look at that young man, he's crying. He'll remember his first trip to Wembley, and he is in absolute tears. He looks devastated, and you never like to see that. But that is the heartbreak of football. That is the emotion of football, the joy and the tears, the highs and the lows. It's played forward into the Crystal Palace half of the field. It's headed out by Jefferson Lerma. And cleared forward again as it's picked up while the referee has stopped play. It's a free kick for Manchester City. As looking on with a desperate look on his face, really, is Pep Guardiola. There's 1 minute left of the stoppage time. Can City get back into this game? It's Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne out wide here to Jeremy Doku. Doku steps back and now cuts into the middle. He's got space here as Doku. Thought about the shot for a moment. Drops it to Ruben Diaz. Diaz back to Doku. It's got to be now. Doku with a shot, and it's wide, and that could be that. A stoppage time now, and the City the Crystal Palace fans are cheering away right now. They are having the time of their lives. Pep Guardiola looks on. He's helpless at this point. The 10 minutes have almost been played. And how long in additional time will Stuart Atwell allow? 100 minutes has been played at Wembley Stadium. The Palace fans, some of them are in tears. And is that it? That's it! Crystal Palace are the 2020 FA Cup winners! A new name will go on the famous old trophy as Crystal Palace celebrate their first FA Cup victory. Oliver Glasner, the first Austrian manager in the final, the first Austrian manager to lift the FA Cup. Oh, what a moment this is for Crystal Palace. What a joyous occasion for those fans. What a season it has been. Oh, the Manchester City players can't believe it. They will win nothing this season. No trophies for Manchester City this season. And, well, Dean Henderson is rightly smiling and cheering, and you can see going over to him and having words with him is Pep Guardiola, rather than congratulating him, and that's sorry to see. That's disappointing to see. Rather than congratulating him for a superb performance, he gets in his face about the time wasting. There's no sportsmanship there shown by Pep. I'm disappointed. And the very least he could have done is shake his hand and say, well done, what a performance. But that is fantastic. We're going to hand you back to Ross Vernon now, and we'll be back for the trophy presentation. Over to you, Nick. Ross.
Thank you very much there, Paul James. Excellent coverage, my friend. Excellent commentary this afternoon on what has been an excellent game of football in the FA Cup final. Crystal Palace are the 2024-2025 season winners of the FA Cup, and I can tell you it's their first major trophy since the old First Division in 93-94. What an achievement for Crystal Palace that is this evening at Wembley Stadium. What an achievement it is for them. We'll get the thoughts of our commentator Paul James in a moment once he has got his voice back and calmed down a little bit from the enthralling ending to the final there this afternoon. And we'll also try and get the thoughts of one of the members of our team, Nicholas Jones, who's been with us on this coverage today. I asked him for his prediction before the start of this game this afternoon, and he said it would be Crystal Palace would win the FA Cup this time around. Paul thought City would do it. If I was honest, I thought City may well have done it as well, but what a game it has been, in a fantastic saves, and I really do agree with the player of the match choice. And I just want to fetch in Nicholas Jones right now. And Nicholas, just a quick one to you, my friend. Fantastic win for Crystal Palace, their first major trophy since 93-94 season. Dean Henderson played his part in helping Crystal Palace win that with plenty of saves, including the penalty save in the first half. Well, Nicholas, just talk to me about Eberechi Eze. What a finish from that young man today, this season. What a season it's been for him. Makes his England senior debut, scores his first England senior goal, and then scores the winner in the FA Cup final. What a moment for Eze, Nicholas, this season.
Oh, it certainly has been, Russ. Eberechi he has definitely been a player to watch this season, not just domestically but internationally as well. And if Crystal Palace keep moving forward, and if he continues to impress with England, I think this young man is going to go a long ways. Although Crystal Palace may have to try and keep him, because I wouldn't be surprised if there'll be a whole host of clubs trying to beat a path to their door.
Yes, absolutely, Nicholas. But Nicholas, just now talk to me about Dean Henderson. Fantastic performance from him in the Crystal Palace goal this evening. Correctly, in my opinion, was named man of the match. Some fantastic saves, including the penalty save as well in the first half from Mamouche in that game. Well, Nicholas, what a game Dean Henderson has had today at Wembley as well.
Oh yes, certainly. I mean, he was almost like the forgotten man in the England international squad. But now that he's proved himself throughout this game that he can handle the pressure when the chips are down, I think some people are hoping he may well get more game time for England.
Yes, absolutely, Nicholas. Just to touch on Manchester City, a bit disappointing in front of goal. Yes, they had the chances this afternoon. In total, I'm just looking at the stats from this game this afternoon, which has been a fantastic game of football in the FA Cup final today. When we look at the stats, he had 23 shots, 6 on target in Manchester City. Crystal Palace, 7 shots, 2 on target. 1 half found the back of the net. From City's 6, none of them found the back of the net. Where do you think he went wrong for Manchester City in the final third today, Nicholas?
I think, as Paul said, they just ran out of ideas, and I think towards the end of the game they looked very, very tired. That has just been the final kick in the teeth to what has been a really wretched season for Manchester City. After all this is over, they've just got to go back and refresh and see what they can plan for next season.
Yeah, just touching on next season for Manchester City. Obviously, we know there's going to be no trophies this season for Manchester City, Nicholas. Do you think if they can keep the core group together, the squad that they've got, do you think they could potentially go one better next season in the FA Cup and potentially win it, Nicholas? Do you think?
Well, it's kind of difficult to say right now. You'd have to really want to see deep into the future. But for Manchester City, I think some of the players have stayed there a bit too longer than was necessary. I think some new blood may well be needed. In the case of Nico O'Reilly, he's been brilliant on his day, but I think the Sky Blues need more fresh faces.
Yes, thank you very much there, Nicholas. We'll just quickly turn our attention to Paul James now. And Paul, you've had a bit of time to have a breather there. And Paul, just touching on from what Nicholas said there with regards to Man City for next season. Do you think if they keep the same question to you, do you think if they keep the core group, we could potentially bounce back and win the FA Cup next season and potentially win a trophy next season?
Well, I think the loss of Kevin De Bruyne is a huge loss. I think they need to find a replacement for Kevin De Bruyne. They've still got a very, very good group of players. Some of them are getting older now, like Ilkay Gundogan. So they do. I agree with Nick to an extent. They do need some fresh faces in there. But I still think the core group that they've got, if they add wisely and spend wisely to that, like I like the look of Claudio Echeverri. I think since he came on, he gave an extra attacking impetus to Manchester City. But I think they will need to spend wisely in the summer to bring in players that are going to complement this core group of players, because it's been a strange season for Manchester City.
It has, Paul. It has indeed. And you just touched on the man I was going to ask you about. Claudio Echeverri came on for his Manchester City debut today, which is his first minutes in football since February. Came on in for the final about 14-15 minutes of the game in the end, Paul. And what did you make to his involvement? Because I thought it looked lively and was very unlucky not to score with that effort he had as well when he came on.
Yeah, he looks very sharp, doesn't he? He'll be a problem for a lot of Premier League defences next season, and he's somebody he can turn to, that Pep Guardiola can turn to next season to as an extra attacking option from the bench, or if there's injuries. He's got depth in that position. I think he's. I honestly think that this is going to be a rare drop in the ocean to Manchester City. They'll be back next season. They may not win the Premier League, they may not win the Champions League, but I feel they will be back with something next season.
Yes, absolutely, Paul. Just one final thing I want to ask you before we go for a quick break in a second is just want to get your thoughts on one man who didn't come on today for Manchester City, was on the bench for City but didn't feature tonight, and that was Jack Grealish. Were you just surprised that some of Grealish's quality wasn't being turned to by Pep Guardiola towards the end of the game when they were trying to get back into it?
No, I think they needed somebody quick, like Phil Foden. They needed that. They needed somebody like Phil Foden to get down that right-hand side. Don't forget, Savinho he struggled against Tyreek Mitchell. Tyreek Mitchell was brilliant. I think they needed some extra speed down there. I think the decision was probably the correct one. On the other side, Doku was playing very, very well. Out of all of Manchester City's attacking players, he was probably the biggest threat.
Absolutely indeed. Luke Turton says Pep doesn't like losing. He doesn't indeed, Luke. And it says this season has been amazing. We have two unique winners of both cups in Newcastle won the Carabao Cup, beating Liverpool in the final, and then Crystal Palace today beating Manchester City in the final of the FA Cup as well. And right now, I can see the Man City players getting ready to go up to get their medals, and then we'll get ready for the Crystal Palace players to go up and get their medals. So without further ado, let me hand you over to match commentator to tell you through this action, Paul James.
Thanks very much, Ross. Yes, the Manchester City players going up to collect their runners-up medals. It won't feel good for them. They're used to winning, and they haven't won anything this season. I take a look at Kevin De Bruyne, and there is one Manchester City player out of all of them that I feel the most sorry for. He's one of the best midfielders in the world still, in my opinion, and wherever he goes, he's going to be a valuable asset. But they're going up now and collecting their medals, and Pep Guardiola, well, I just wonder what his reaction will be, whether is he going to move on next season, or is he going to stay with Manchester City and try to win some more trophies. I suspect Pep will not want to exit like this, so I suspect that he will want to carry on as Omar Mamouche now, and Pep Guardiola meeting the dignitaries there who are going to hand him his medals. So I believe it's Prince William who is going to hand the medals out, and the trophy, again, one of his more pleasant duties as he hands the medal there. They no longer put it round the players' necks anymore, the runners-up medals, because the players generally remove them afterwards, and they just hand the medals to them, and the Manchester City players and management team just shaking the hands of everybody up there as Kevin De Bruyne is going up there now as well. The FA Cup will be presented to Crystal Palace by Prince William, who of course is an Aston Villa fan, as they were beaten by Crystal Palace in the semi-finals. So an interesting mix of emotions, I suspect, for His Royal Highness the Prince. It is certainly one of the more, I would think, more enjoyable things to do as part of his duties. He is now going to wait for the Crystal Palace players to come up and collect their medals and receive that famous old trophy, the FA Cup, the oldest trophy in sports. And we'll get to that in just a moment. Dean Henderson is just being interviewed by the media right now. I mean, I think he can look at today as being a real chance in his career, right in front of the England manager. So he's put his name out there right now as an opportunity to maybe break into the England side. England now are not short of good goalkeepers. They've got quite a few now. It never used to be that way, but now that they've got a number of good goalkeepers vying for those positions, as we are just waiting for this interview to over, so Dean Henderson can join his Crystal Palace teammates. And at the moment, I think he just kind of wants to get away from this media interview at the moment. Pep Guardiola is going over to talk to the officials. What for, I don't know. The game is over, and he's still, Pep just showed there where Pep Guardiola was having a go at Dean Henderson. To be honest with you, again, it just, in my opinion, just shows poor sportsmanship. There is the famous old trophy. Crystal Palace will be the newest name added to it, as they're going up now to receive their medals and the FA Cup, as Oliver Glasner must be one proud man right now. And he's going up now and shaking the hands of the fans that are on that side. What a moment it is for him, the first Austrian national to even be at the final, let alone win it, as he is now going up those stairs. It's usually the most grueling part at the end of the game. You've played 90 minutes of football, or in this case 100 minutes of football, and you've got to go up all those flights of stairs. They are going up now. I'm not sure I could make it up those stairs if I didn't play any minutes of football. But Gahey's going up there now, along with Ward, Eberici Eze, the scorer of the winning goal. And, what a moment this is for Crystal Palace. In the history of their football club, 1990 they came oh so close and was denied by a Mark Hughes goal and then a replay. Some of those players and managers are in the crowd today. Mark Bright and Steve Coppell. Mark Bright was playing for Crystal Palace that day. Steve Coppell was the manager. I think they came close in 2016 against Manchester United again and lost the game. As Jean-Philippe Matete is there with the selfie stick, recording all of this. It's a great moment. Tyreek Mitchell, of course, had a fantastic game. What a performance by him. And he shut out Savinio. Media, radio, jingles and gaming says Pep does not like losing, but what a moment for Palace. Their first FA Cup win. Their first time an Austrian has won the FA Cup winner, and to lead them to the final as well. Yes, this is a moment for Crystal Palace. 1-2, remember. The selfie stick has been taken away from Jean-Philippe Mateta. He's not happy with that. He wants it back. There you go. Gets it back off Dean Henderson. I think he's just fixed it and made it right. And there's Mark Bright there, of course. And that's Jeff Thomas, I think, there, who was the Crystal Palace captain in 1990. As they're finally reaching the top of those stairs now. Oliver Glasner shaking the hands of everybody. It's a moment for him and for Austria as a whole in their football, which has been growing as well, to have one of their own lifting the FA Cup. Well, Dean Henderson, and you can see there the final handshakes. The medal handed to Oliver Glasner with a word of congratulation from His Royal Highness Prince William. And right now, the rest of the Crystal Palace players just making their way towards there as well. Jean-Philippe Mateta, and handshakes all round. The selfie stick still there. And what a moment there this is for Crystal Palace and their fans. Luke Turton says, what a performance from Muniz as well. Yes, he was my second choice to be picked as player of the match. I just couldn't not give it to Dean Henderson, but Daniel Muniz was brilliant today. and Daichi Kamada picking up his winner's medal. Dean Henderson as the Prince there, telling him what a fantastic performance that was today. And congratulations as Will Hughes picks up his medal, the substitute. Daniel Munez, wonderful performance by him, as Luke rightly mentioned. And as Eze, the scorer of the winning goal on 16 minutes from the cross from Daniel Munez, as the remaining players for Crystal Palace, including the backup goalkeeper and Prince William, just handing out the medals. And finally, in a moment, the Crystal Palace captain will be ready to lift this famous old trophy, which will be a fantastic moment in his career. As well, medals now still being handed out, and shaking of the hands, and well, this is a moment to be savoured, and I can kind of understand why Jean-Philippe Mateta is there with a selfie stick. This is absolutely of no surprise to me. And well, picking up the captain's armband, I think there is Ward, number 2, Joel Ward. He was on the bench today, didn't make an appearance. And I think he's going to be handed the FA Cup. And the 2025 FA Cup winners are Crystal Palace. The first time ever they have won the FA Cup. And they can celebrate as Joel Ward gets ready to lift that trophy. You can see they're just waiting, and Joel Ward just bringing himself to the front there. And London is red and blue. Crystal Palace are the 2025 FA Cup winners, the champions for the first time. What a moment, as he hands the trophy down to the next in line, and they celebrate, every one of them, for a job well done this afternoon. As dancing and partying will go long into the night, Ross. The Crystal Palace players so delighted with this. The trophy being handed down the line as they kiss it and celebrate this moment, a moment in their careers that they will never ever forget. And Ross, as I hand back to you, my friend, tell me, what does this feel like for you to see a team like Crystal Palace? You're a Leeds United supporter, that maybe one day in your lifetime you might see something like this.
Well, what I do want to say, as I mentioned in the commentary group chat for the staff of the commentary hub, where we all speak on most occasions, as soon as the final whistle went, I personally am buzzing for Crystal Palace FA Cup winners. I love this for them. It's the first time in, I think, my lifetime that I've seen somebody who, other than the so-called Big Six, if you like, in names of Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham, and Manchester United, those are the so-called Big Six of English football. I mean, that someone outside of that are FA Cup winners. From what I can remember, obviously, Wigan Athletic in 2013 when they beat Manchester City, but I'm talking about teams who are in the Premier League and winning it as well. And Crystal Palace, fantastic for them. Really, really good to see someone else's name on that trophy other than the so-called Big Six. In what's been last few years has always been likes of Man City. Last year was Man City, Man United in the final. Well, this year we've got a new winner on the name for quite a while. But what a game of football we've had today. Just some more comments in the comment section below as well. Media Radio Jingles and Gaming. All the Palace team played exceptionally well today. They did indeed. They did indeed, my friend. They did indeed. And as a result of the FA Cup winners for Crystal Palace, I can reveal to you, our listeners out there, that what this means for Crystal Palace next season. Crystal Palace, for winning the FA Cup next season, this season, will earn a Europa League spot, plus the team finishing 6th in the Premier League as it stands. 8th place would be a European spot if Chelsea were to win the Conference League and finish in 6th or 7th in the table in the Premier League. We could still have 10 teams who could be in Europe next season, which has been confirmed this evening. So once again, congratulations to Crystal Palace FA Cup winners, and they will play Europa League football next season. So if they win the Europa League next season, the following season they could end up in the Champions League. And Paul, how amazing does that sound for Crystal Palace and their fans? Europa League football, and potentially just a season away from Champions League football as well.
Yeah, if they were to go on and win the Europa League, they would of course qualify for the Champions League. So it's quite a moment for Crystal Palace. They've got to a point where the season they finished mid-table. The last couple of seasons have sort of been in danger of relegation, but Oliver Glasner has steadied that ship and has guided them to not just mid-table in the Premier League, which is impressive enough, but an FA Cup as well.
Yes, absolutely, Paul, absolutely. Just before we do finish this afternoon, I just want to run through the rest of the scores taking place today. I can tell you in the Scottish Premiership, top 6, it finished Celtic 1, St Mirren 1, Dundee United 2, Aberdeen 1, Hibernian 2, Rangers 2. In League 2, playoff semi-final, second leg, FC Wimbledon 1, Notts County 0. FC Wimbledon won 2-0 on aggregate and will play Walsall in the League 2 playoff final for a place in League 1 next season. In the Scottish Championship playoff final, Edgeronians 0, Cove Rangers 0 on 75 minutes, 2-1 on aggregate there. In the Scottish League 2 playoff finals, Bonnyrigg Rose 0, East Kilbride 0. East Kilbride win 3-1 on aggregate there. In the German Bundesliga, full-time scores from there: Augsburg 1, Union Berlin 2, Borussia Dortmund 3, Holstein Kiel 0, Borussia Mönchengladbach 0, Wolfsburg 1, Freiburg 1, Eintracht Frankfurt 3, Heidenheim 1, Werder Bremen 4, Hoffenheim 0, Bayern Munich 4, Mainz 2, Bayer Leverkusen 2, Leipzig 2, Stuttgart 3, St. Pauli 0, Bochum 2, and Italian Serie A this evening, Genoa take on Atalanta at 7:45 UK time. And I just want to say a big congratulations as well to England's Harry Kane, who scored 26 goals this season and was the top scorer in the Bundesliga, 26th league goal of the season for Harry Kane, which has made him the Bundesliga top scorer. 8 assists from Harry Kane as well, and he's 5 goals ahead of Galatasaray, of Borussia Dortmund, and Patrick Schick of Bayer Leverkusen as well in the German Bundesliga, following his goal today for Bayern Munich. Right then, just one final thing for me to say this evening. Big thank you to everybody who has tuned in to our FA Cup coverage. Big thank you to those who like our graphics. Big thanks to Luke and Paul for helping us get to this stage with the graphics. This for the remainder of this season. We will have some more finals coming up for you towards the end of the season next weekend. It's a championship playoff final next Sunday. We'll bring you coverage of that next Saturday, should I say, for the championship playoff final between Sunderland and Sheffield United. 3 o'clock kick-off for that one next Saturday afternoon. That will be on the main channels next week, and with it being a final. And although our normal AFL coverage has been over Contrib to JB Sports, and my personal Twitch channel will next week, and we'll be in the final of the playoff in the league, in the championship for a place in the Premier League. We'll bring you that here on the main Contrib channels, along with Focus on Football and Storm FM. Keep a check out on our channel as well. We'll be posting stories of Leno what games are coming up as well. Not stories, shorts, should I say, to let you know what's coming up as well. So make sure you do check out those as well. And there will also be posts on our community page as well, to make sure you keep a check on there as well for what is coming up on the channel this evening. A big thank you to Nicholas Jones for acting it, as being part of our broadcast team today. Big thank you to our match commentator Paul James as well. But for myself, Russ, Nicholas and Paul and the rest of the team here at the Commentary Hub, we do hope you've enjoyed our coverage today. And if you have, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Also turn on the same on Focus on Football and Storm FM, and also on our other partner channels, JB Sports as well, and also on our number 2 channel, Commentary Hub 2 as well. More coverage from the matches coming up between now and the end of the season, and we'll be bringing you some Premier League action in the week as well, where we can, if we can make time. So make sure you keep a check on our Twitter feed at Commentary Live 1 to find out what games we've got coming up for you in the week. But from myself, Nicholas, Paul and the rest of the team here, thank you very much for listening. Until next time, it's goodbye for now.